Chapter 29:30. However, there were too few cultivators who had all three true attributes. This was also the reason why blacksmiths were extinct. No wonder one of the prerequisites for condensing the space in the jade pendant was the completion of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. It turned out that one could only become a blacksmith after attaining the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. However, the concept of blacksmiths was not mentioned in the method of condensing the jade pendant. The next step was for Lin Yi to begin condensing the forging fire. The forging fire was not like alchemy fire, which could be condensed into alchemy fire of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth attributes. There was only one type of forging fire, but it was not easy to successfully condense it. In the method of condensing the forging fire, there was a mantra for condensing the forging fire. Lin Yi followed the mantra and was ready to condense the forging fire for the first time. Originally, Lin Yi thought that he had met all the prerequisites and that condensing the forging fire would be a matter of minutes. However, when he actually condensed it, he realized that he had thought too simply. The forging fire was not so easy to condense. Although the forging fire did not have as many attributes as alchemy fire, Lin Yi discovered through the mantra that the forging fire was clearly a combination of the three attributes of metal, fire, and wood, forming a flame. That was why it was called the forging fire. The process of condensing the forging fire was actually very similar to alchemy fire, but it was a little difficult to combine the three attributes of flames. The process of condensing the forging fire was actually very simple and could be said to be extremely easy. This was because the mantra for condensing the forging fire was actually a branch of the art of dragon mastery. It was the process of transforming the all-purpose true qi in one's body into the forging fire of the metal attribute, the forging fire of the fire attribute, and the forging fire of the wood attribute. This process was much easier than condensing alchemy fire. The only difficulty was that to become a qualified blacksmith, one had to be able to condense the forging fire of the three attributes in one's hands at the same time. Furthermore, in order to forge weapons, one must be able to freely control the intensity and temperature of the fire of each element in the forging fire. This was because during the forging process, there were times when the forging fire was required to have more metal attribute. Sometimes, there were times when the forging fire was required to have more fire attribute or wood attribute. This was not constant, but could be changed at any time according to the needs of the forging. Now, not to mention that Lin Yi could change the intensity and temperature of one attribute at will, it was a very difficult task to condense the forging fire of the three attributes at the same time. Lin Yi experimented for a long time and only managed to condense a single elemental fire. It wasn't hard for him at all, he just needed to use the chant and he'd be able to complete the conversion, but it wasn't that easy to condense three elemental fires. After trying for a long time, Lin Yi was so tired that he was sweating profusely. In the end, he could only condense the forging fire of two attributes. As long as he added a third attribute, Lin Yi would feel a little powerless, or in other words, he could not do three things at the same time. One of the forging fire would definitely be extinguished. As for changing the fire's intensity and temperature, he could do it easily if it was just a single elemental, since he was just using the art of dragon mastery to change it. But if it was a combination of two elements, he wouldn't be able to do it. If Lin Yi tried to change the intensity and temperature of one attribute, the other attribute would definitely be extinguished because of Lin Yi's distraction, let alone three attributes. This situation made Lin Yi, who had been tossing and turning for a day, extremely distressed, but there was nothing he could do. He knew that Rome wasn't built in a day, and everything had to be done in an orderly fashion. But he'd been training his martial arts so fast that he had the confidence that he could do anything he wanted. Now that his confidence had been shattered, he felt a little depressed. However, fortunately, when Lin Yi thought about his rubbish attainments in alchemy, this little setback was nothing. Jiao Lao, being a blacksmith, is too difficult. Forging fire of three attributes, and you can also change the intensity and temperature of each attribute at will. This is a little crazy. Lin Yi was tired for a long time. Condensing the forging fire also consumed a lot of physical strength and qi. So after Lin Yi exhausted his physical strength and qi, He returned to the space of the jade pendant to prepare to replenish the loss in his body. When he saw Jiao Yazi, he could not help but complain. Difficult? You call this difficult? Do you really not know how difficult it is to be a blacksmith? Jiao Yazi sneered and looked at Lin Yi with disdain. He said sarcastically, such a small difficulty is already difficult. Real blacksmiths don't deserve to live. What do you mean? Lin Yi was a little depressed about Jiao Yazi's attitude. This old guy has always been like this. If I don't ask, he won't answer. If I ask, he will either have an incomplete memory, or he will ridicule me. Really amazing. I haven't recovered my memory yet. Jiao Yazi said. Can you not play with me? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. But don't you have the refining method of the essence necklace? There should be a blacksmith's mantra on it. Take a look and you will know. Jiao Yazi said. Although Lin Yi was angry at Jiao Yazi's attitude, he also knew that the current Jiao Yazi was just an illusion. It was completely unnecessary to argue with him, so Lin Yi could only give up. However, Lin Yi was still very curious about what Jiao Yazi said. So he opened the drawer and took out the refining method of the essence necklace that he got from the Taganlong family's scripture pavilion. He flipped through it. At the front, it was similar to the refining method of the jade pendant. There were some preparation materials and a description of the blacksmith's level. Wait, blacksmiths also have levels? Lin Yi looked at the description of the refining method of the essence necklace in shock. His eyes widened. There was no introduction in the refining method of the jade pendant. Either the art of dragon mastery differentiated blacksmiths differently from normal blacksmiths, or the refining of the space in the jade pendant could only be completed by the lowest level blacksmiths. Therefore, there was no explanation in the refining method of the jade pendant. After all, this refining method was only for cultivators of the art of dragon mastery, not blacksmiths. This was because blacksmiths could not possibly have the jade pendant that Lin Yi had. Chapter 29:31. As for the essence necklace, only a Huang-level blacksmith could condense and forge it. In the appendix behind the condensing method of the essence necklace, there was the mantra of a Huang-level blacksmith. Lin Yi looked at it curiously, but after a few glances, Lin Yi's expression became a little weird and helpless. At this moment, Lin Yi only wanted to say 4 words, it was really fucking difficult. This mantra of a blacksmith could be said to be extremely complicated. It was even more complicated than the most complicated mantra of alchemy that Lin Yi had seen. Not only was it extremely long, but the way it worked in the body was also incomparably strange. Not only that, there were also 3 different ways to control the fire's intensity and temperature of the 3 different attributes of the forging fire. Or rather, there were 6 different ways to control the fire's intensity and temperature. The corner of Lin Yi's mouth twitched twice. He could imagine that a blacksmith was forging a weapon, and he was chanting all kinds of mantra incessantly like chanting an incantation. If there was a slight mistake, all the previous efforts would be wasted. Lin Yi had the art of dragon mastery at least. Although it was also multitasking, changing the fire intensity and temperature completely depended on Lin Yi's will. There was no need to circulate these complicated mantras at all. As long as Lin Yi's will changed, the forging fire would also change. In comparison, Lin Yi's art of dragon mastery was really easy. If blacksmiths knew that there was such an easy way, they would definitely be envious to death. Seeing this, Lin Yi was really very lucky. He didn't know how lucky he was. Jiao Lao, you're really right. Mine is considered easy. Lin Yi said with a bitter smile. This time, he didn't have any temper at all. Hee, is that so? Brat Lin, you're too impatient. You want to become a blacksmith in just a day and a half? You're looking down on the profession of blacksmith too much. Many famous blacksmiths in history only started to study and explore the art of blacksmithing after their lifespans were extended indefinitely. Jiao Yazi said, All right, I was too impatient. Lin Yi nodded. In the past, cultivating martial skills had always been smooth sailing. This time, Lin Yi was a little surprised. But after thinking it through, he naturally calmed down and restored his physical strength and true qi, preparing to continue practicing the condensation of the forging fire. Yushu received a text when she was in class. Her face changed slightly, but she recovered quickly. All of this happened in a split second, and Meng Yao didn't notice anything amiss. Yao Yao, I need to go to the washroom. Yushu looked at Meng Yao with a worried face. They're still in class? Are you sure you want to go now? Meng Yao was listening to the class and couldn't help but pause when she heard Yushu's words. Yeah, Shu can't hold it anymore, I'm about to pee my pants. Yushu said with a pale face. Alright, you go then. I won't be coming with you. Meng Yao stood up and asked Yushu to leave. Yushu stood up and quickly ran out of the class. The lecturer only glanced at her, but didn't ask anything. University classes were long, and each class was 2 hours long. It was normal for students to go to the washroom in the middle. If a girl was on her period, she would go to the washroom more often. The lecturer didn't bother to ask too much. However, when Yushu left the class, she didn't go to the washroom. Instead, she went to the balcony at the end of the corridor, took out her phone, and quickly dialed a number. The call connected quickly, and a voice that Yushu hated to the bone but didn't dare show came from the other side. It was the voice of the hidden house Yushu, you're really quick this time. Yue was a little surprised at Yushu's speed. What's the matter? Yushu asked. If you want me to deal with Lin Yi, then forget it. I can't kill him. Deal with Lin Yi, forget it for now. The head of the house has said that this is not something you can participate in. You don't have to worry about it anymore, Yue said. Yushu was surprised and happy after hearing this, and finally let out a sigh of relief. However, she also understood that this should be the result that Lin Yi fought for. Lin Yi was now strong enough to kill Sky Class Masters. It was a wise move for the hidden house Yu to give up on dealing with Lin Yi. But on the surface, Yushu was very indifferent. Oh, I understand. Is there anything else? Yes. Yue sighed and said, it's the thing I told you a long time ago. Now it's on the agenda. You should be prepared. Is it to marry that young prodigy, and then accept the inheritance? Yushu's heart trembled as she asked. Yes, that marriage and inheritance plan is about to begin. Your mission is also the same. Yue said. Will you follow the previous agreement and let my parents go and let me meet them? Yushu hesitated and asked. Of course it's not a problem to let them go, but to meet them, at least after you have successfully accepted the inheritance. Yue said, you haven't completed your mission until you have successfully accepted the inheritance. Okay. Yushu sighed and asked, when are you leaving? Wait for my notice. This time, I just want you to be mentally prepared. It will be a few months at least, a year or 2 at most. Yue said, don't tell anyone about this, including Lin. I know. Yushu nodded and replied helplessly. Okay, I'm hanging up. Yue hung up as soon as he finished speaking. Yushu was left alone, standing on the balcony in a daze. After a while, she came back to her senses, put away her phone, and walked in the direction of the classroom. For the rest of the class, Yushu was a little absent-minded, and she was not as lively as before. Meng Yao was quite puzzled and couldn't help but ask after school, Shu, what's wrong? Is there something on your mind? What can I have on my mind, Yao sis? Why are you asking this? Yushu grinned. Naturally, she wouldn't admit it. Although the inheritance wasn't a secret, the hidden house Yu didn't allow Yushu to say it. Using her parents as a threat, Yushu naturally didn't dare to say it. In fact, Yue was also afraid that Lin Yi would cause trouble. Now that Lin Yi was not the same as before, if Lin Yi strongly stopped Yushu from accepting the inheritance, then Lin Yi would definitely be attacked by the 5-element sect, but the hidden house Yu would also be implicated, and naturally, the loss would not be worth the gain. Chapter 29:32. Of course not. Yushu nodded. Meng Yao could only let it go after hearing Yushu's words. She started to wonder if she was being too sensitive before. Right, Yao sis, Shield Bro is so strong now, and he's about to step into Sky Class. Have you thought about what we should do in the future? Yushu pretended to be nonchalant as she changed the topic, but only she knew that she wasn't changing the topic at all. You're talking about the gap between us and Lin Yi, right? Meng Yao was smart as well. She knew what Yushu was talking about the moment she mentioned it. Lin Yi was getting stronger and stronger, and the gap between them was getting more and more obvious. If it was just a difference in strength, then it would be fine. The girl was quiet and gentle, and it wouldn't be a problem if she didn't play with weapons. But the problem was that Lin Yi was already in Earth class late phase, and it was only a matter of time before he stepped into Sky class, and it wouldn't be long before that happened. Thus, there was a problem. The moment a cultivator stepped into the heaven rank, their appearance would remain forever unchanged. Although they would still grow older, they would always look the same after stepping into the heaven rank. Meng Yao and Yushu might not be able to see much of a gap between them and Lin Yi now, but what would they do when Lin Yi was in his 30s? Wouldn't they turn from a young girl to a young man then? But Lin Yi would still look like a young man, because Lin Yi would definitely step into Sky class within these 2 years. Meng Yao's face flashed with a hint of melancholy at the thought. There were some things that she wouldn't admit or think about in her heart, but she still cared about it. She didn't want the gap between her and Lin Yi to get bigger and bigger, she just didn't want it. Yeah, I'm a little envious of Xiao Xiao and Yun Yun sis. If there's a chance for Shu to accept the inheritance, she'll definitely go happily. Yushu said. Don't say that, it's not a good thing. Don't we still have to do something dangerous later? Meng Yao glared at Yushu, annoyed. It was supposed to be a sad thing, but Yushu's words turned it into a happy one. Yao Yao sis, I'm serious. Even if it's dangerous, it'll be worth it if we can get closer to Shield Bro. Yao Yao sis. Why don't we find a chance to accept the inheritance? Yushu tempted. Shu, you have to know that not everyone can accept the inheritance. It requires a compatible constitution. How can we accept it just because we want to? Meng Yao smiled bitterly. Get rid of that unrealistic idea. Let Lin Yi find us some training arts suitable for our constitutions. That's the right thing to do. Maybe one of the sects will take a liking to Shu. Yushu said. Huh. Meng Yao and Yushu only remembered that Han Jingjing hadn't come today. They'd been riding her BMW X5 M2 and from school all this time, they weren't used to not seeing Han Jingjing's car all of a sudden. Only then did Meng Yao remember that they'd come to school in Lin Yi's Jeep this morning, and Lin Yi had told them that Han Jingjing was going into seclusion to research a new invention. She'd probably be in seclusion for a while. Lin Yi greeted Meng Yao and Yushu as they walked over. Lin Yi had come back from home to pick them up. Xiao Chao's in the car already? Meng Yao said as she glanced at the front passenger seat. Lin Yi nodded and turned to ask, Little Chao, how is your sister? I don't know, she went into her room and never came out. Xiao Chao said weakly as he put down the book in his hand. All right. Lin Yi couldn't ask too many questions to a bookworm like that. He probably didn't care about his sister's invention at all. It didn't make much of a difference to him. On the way home, Lin Yi's phone rang again. What surprised Lin Yi was that it was Zhao Qikuan. Qikuan, why were you calling at this hour? Lin Yi knew that Qikuan had been very busy lately, fighting with Zhao Qibing for the position of heir. Both of them were fighting openly and secretly at home, and he didn't have time to chat with Lin. Boss, it's like this weekend, Grandpa's treating you to dinner at our hidden house Zhao. Of course, if you don't like this place, you can go to another restaurant. Qikuan said excitedly. Grandpa said that he wants to confirm the relationship between you and our hidden house Zhao, and also confirm my position as the heir. Oh? Lin Yi paused. He didn't think that old Zhao would have made the decision already. Old Zhao had said that he would treat him to dinner as an apology, and his attitude towards Qikuan had changed a lot, but it seemed like he would still struggle for a few days. But now, it seemed like it was settled. As for old Zhao saying that they could go to another restaurant, it was probably because he was afraid that Lin Yi would think that there would be a problem if he went to the hidden house Zhao's turf. But with Lin Yi's strength, a mere hidden house Zhao wasn't a threat at all. Naturally, Lin Yi agreed without hesitation. This weekend? What time exactly? Saturday, 11 noon. Boss, you agree? Qikuan could tell from Lin Yi's tone that he had agreed. Let's go to your hidden house Zhao then. I'll be there around 10. Lin Yi said. Since it was an invitation from Qikuan, Lin Yi naturally had to give him face. After hanging up, Meng Yao asked, You have something going on this weekend? And Zhao Qikuan said that the hidden house Zhao invited me to dinner, so I have to go. Lin Yi nodded. You have something going on? It's nothing, actually. It's just that Shu and I haven't gone shopping in a long time, and we want you to come with us. Mouse. Oh, I'll go with you guys on Sunday then. Lin Yi nodded, thinking that it must have been hard on them. When he wasn't home, they were afraid of running into enemies and giving him trouble. They didn't even go to the mall. And, by the way, Lin Yi, do you have a plan for our practitioner's arts? Meng Yao asked casually. After all, she cared a lot about Shu's suggestion. Chapter 29:33. After all, practitioners' arts were different from martial arts. They had to keep training in one, and if they changed to something else halfway, the success rate would be extremely low. It'd be easy for them to lose all of their skills. Therefore, Lin didn't dare to let them step onto the path of cultivation. Shield bro, what do you think about me and Yao Yao finding a place to receive our inheritances? Yushu said suddenly. Inheritances? Linny blinked. It's like going to some fire element or metal element sect to receive their inheritance. Yushu said. Shu, don't get carried away. Meng Yao kicked Yushu helplessly. Even if you've gone crazy thinking about strength, you don't have to be so unreasonable. Oh. Yushu shut her mouth in disappointment. Lin Yi shook his head with a smile, not taking Yushu's words seriously. After all, inheritances were something that anyone could receive. Then the Ice Palace and Yellow Earth High sects wouldn't have to spend so much effort to find inheritors. Alright, let's not think about that. I've reached the ancient level now. If there's a chance, I'll help you guys ask for a suitable practitioner's arts. Lin Yi comforted. Alright, there's no rush. Meng Yao didn't want to burden Lin. She was worried, but she acted like she didn't care. Ha! Lin Yi knew the Miss personality very well. He smiled mischievously and didn't expose her. Ha what ha? The Miss blushed when Lin Yi saw through her. She glared at Lin Yi. Drive properly. Lin Yi was speechless. He couldn't even smile. Right, Shield bro, why did that old Zhao change his mind all of a sudden? Zhao Qibing came out just a few days ago. Yushu felt that the hidden house Zhao was a little strange. There's no conspiracy, right? Shu, why are you always talking about conspiracy theories? Meng Yao didn't think much of it. Didn't House Zhao send us 200 million a few days ago? I just feel that something's up. Yushu said. Alright, I'll be careful then. Lin Yi nodded. He had to admit that Yushu's sixth sense was quite accurate sometimes. He felt that House Zhao's attitude had changed a little too quickly, but House Zhuang and House Pai were just as quick to act as the wind blew. In the next few days, Lin Yi asked for leave from Boss Bai. Apart from driving Meng Yao and the others to and from school in the morning and evening, he spent the rest of his time at home practicing the forging fire. However, this wasn't something that could be achieved overnight, so Lin Yi had to calm down and practice hard. In the blink of an eye, it was Saturday. Lin Yi drove to the hidden Zhao family's manor early in the morning. But, even though Lin Yi left at 7 in the morning, it still took him more than 3 hours to reach the hidden house Zhao's manor. Perhaps it was because old Zhao had informed the guards, but the guards on the private road in front of the manor didn't stop Lin Yi at all. They let him pass after seeing Lin Yi's car. At the entrance of the manor, Lin Yi saw Zhao Qikuan waiting for him. Beside him was Elder Zhao and Qibing, who had an awkward look on his face. Boss. Qikuan was very excited to see Lin Yi's car. Old Zhao looked a little embarrassed as well, but he still cupped his fists and said solemnly. This was a formal greeting to Lin Yi. He called him Lin Yi Sr., so naturally, the hidden house Zhao recognized Lin Yi's identity. Ha Lin Yi boss, nice to meet you. Qikuan thought that there was no turning back. After the awkwardness, he became more enthusiastic. Lin Yi boss, I heard that you came to me to help me break my legs? I wasn't there at the time, so forgive me. Do you have time today? Help me break my legs once? Qibing. Old Zhao frowned and glared at Qibing. Why are you bringing this up at a time like this? Lin Yi Sr. is here to eat. If you want to break your legs, you'll have plenty of chances in the future. Our hidden house Zhao is Lin Yi Sr.'s vassal house. Are you worried that you won't have a chance? Qibing was silent after hearing the old man's words, a flash of hatred in his eyes. He looked at Qikuan beside him, but didn't say anything else. One had to admit that Qibing's acting was quite good, expressing his anger towards old Zhao but not daring to voice it out, as well as his anger towards Qikuan for taking his position as the heir of the house. It was very subtle, but it was very subtle. Qibing's hatred disappeared in a flash, but Lin Yi still caught it. However, it was easier for Lin Yi to understand the changes in House Zhao. It seemed that old Zhao's heart had shifted to Qikuan. Otherwise, Qibing wouldn't be this resentful, making a request like this regardless of the situation. It's fine. If you want to break my legs, you'll have plenty of chances in the future. Lin Yi said faintly with a wave of his hand. Senior Lin, I have already prepared a banquet in the banquet hall. Do you want to eat first, or do you want me to bring you around the house to take a look at the hidden treasure vault of our Zhao family? Old Master Zhao asked. Let's eat first. Lin Yi said. Right now, Lin Yi wasn't too curious about the hidden house's treasury. Lin Yi's strength had touched the ancient level, and so Lin Yi's horizons were much higher now. Plus, Lin Yi had seen most of the hidden house's treasures at the Hidden House Summit. All right, this way please. Old Master Zhao nodded and made a please gesture. Lin Yi followed Elder Zhao to the Hidden House Zhao's banquet hall, and saw Zhao Guangyin busying himself, personally directing the disciples to serve the dishes. Zhao Guangyin saw Lin Yi and walked over immediately. He said respectfully, Lin Yi Sr., you're here. Please take a seat. With that, Zhao Guangyin pointed at the head seat to Lin Yi, letting Lin Yi sit there. Lin Yi didn't try to be courteous. He came to House Zhao to take in a follower, so he didn't need to be polite. After sitting down, Lin Yi noticed that Qikuan and Qibing were standing at the side. Only old Zhao and Zhao Guangyin sat down after him. He couldn't help but feel strange. Qitan, why aren't you sitting? Chapter 29:34. Lin Yi smiled. It's fine, isn't it just a meal? We can all eat together, there's no need for a waiter. Senior Lin, you don't have to say anything. They're juniors, it's only natural for them to serve you tea. Old man Zhao laughed, waved his hand and said, Senior Lin, let Qitan pour some wine for you. All right. Since old Zhao had said so, Lin Yi didn't insist. This was hiding House Zhao, and Lin Yi could not give old Zhao face. After all, things were different now, and House Zhao was Lin Yi's vassal house. Qitan, pour the wine, Qibing, take the dishes. There's so many dishes, help Senior Lin take some. Look after Senior Lin as well. If he runs out of wine, pour it immediately. Old Zhao ordered. Yes, Grandpa. Qikuan and Qibing replied at the same time. Senior Lin, since it's a family banquet, there's no need to be so formal. Do you think we can start eating? Old Zhao knew that Lin Yi didn't like those rules, so he asked directly. Sure. Lin Yi nodded. Let's eat. With that, Lin Yi started moving his chopsticks, picking up a piece of vegetable and putting it in his mouth. Old Zhao and Guangyin waited for Lin Yi to start eating before picking up their chopsticks. Qikuan, on the other hand, was busy pouring tea and wine for the three. Qibing, on the other hand, was busy putting food into Lin Yi and old Zhao's bowl. Every time he took food, there were two portions, one for Lin Yi and the other for old Zhao. As for Guangyin, he didn't care. This was understandable. It was normal for Zhao Qibing to serve Lin Yi and elder Zhao. Zhao Guangyin was the weakest of the two, so it was fine for him to take the food. If Zhao Qibing took the food too, it wouldn't be able to show off Lin Yi's high status. Old Zhao, on the other hand, was the head of the house and an old man. Qibing was doing this out of respect, and it was reasonable. Senior Lin, I, Zhao Guangyin, offer you a toast. After eating a few mouthfuls of food, Zhao Guangyin picked up his wine glass and stood up. He said to Lin, previously, our hidden Zhao family offended Senior Lin. We hope that Senior Lin will forgive us. We didn't recognize MT Tai before, but luckily for us, Hidden House Zhao has someone with good eyes, Zhao Qikuan. I believe that under Senior Lin's leadership, the Hidden Zhao family will definitely become stronger and stronger. You're welcome. Lin Yi didn't have a good impression of Guangyin before, but he felt that this guy was quite cruel, even wanting to kill Qinshi. Now that he had accepted Qikuan's hidden house, he couldn't be too harsh on Guangyin. He said faintly, if Zhao Qibing can return to the hidden house, then Qinshi can too, right? Is it possible for her to become the female head of the family? Zhao Guanyin hadn't expected Lin Yi to ask such a question. This wasn't within his expectations. He was at a loss for words and didn't know how to answer. Light Seal, didn't you hear what Senior Lin said? Later, we'll bring Qin Shi and her mother back to the family. From what I see, Qin Shi's mother is very virtuous, she's more than qualified to be your wife. Old Master Zhao glared at Zhao Guanyin. Senior Lin, father, I'll bring Qin Shi and her mother back to the hidden house tomorrow. Guanyin said quickly. Senior Lin, as for the position of head of the family. Old Zhao heard Lin Yi say that Qin Shi would be the female head of the family, and he looked troubled. Actually, during this banquet, I've decided to let Qikuan be the next head of the hidden house. Qin Shi? Elder Zhao's words made Qibing's face change. His hand shook, and the food he picked up fell to the ground with a thud. It was obvious that he was shaking all over at this moment. Lin Yi saw Qibing's situation and frowned slightly. Could it be that Elder Zhao didn't say anything earlier and only announced his decision when he was invited to the banquet? Otherwise, why would Qibing react like this? Qibing, what are you doing? Old Zhao's eyes sharpened as he glared at Qibing. You can't even do a dish properly, what's the use of keeping you? Grandpa, I'm sorry, my hand shook. Qibing's face was very ugly, and he was about to cry. Don't embarrass yourself. Although I plan to pass the position of successor to the young family head to Qi Tan, you will definitely be an elder in the hidden Zhao family. It's just that your relationship with Senior Lin wasn't good before, so I didn't place you in the position of successor to the young family head because I was protecting you. Do you understand? Old man Zhao snorted coldly and said, when you become the successor of the young master, Senior Lin will definitely not be happy. I understand, Grandpa, Qibing said, his face pale. Lin Yi looked at Qibing, deep in thought. Although it all looked very real, Lin Yi felt that it was a little unnatural. Since old Zhao had already invited him to dinner and made House Zhao his vassal, then Qikuan's ascension was unstoppable. Even if Qibing was an idiot, he shouldn't be unable to understand this, right? Why did it seem like Qibing really didn't know about this, and was still fantasizing about him becoming the heir? But, if he really looked into it, Lin Yi really couldn't see the reason. What was Qibing doing today? It seemed like Qibing's attitude wasn't bad. After being scolded by old Zhao, he started to seriously put food in Lin Yi's bowl. Although his face was still a little pale, he didn't ask any more questions. Qibing's speed wasn't fast, so every dish he took, Lin Yi would taste it. 1. It was to give face to House Zhao, and 2. It was because Lin Yi was really hungry. With Lin Yi's appetite, Qibing's way of putting food in was a little too little. It wasn't until Lin Yi had tasted all the dishes that Qibing asked, Senior Lin, what do you think is good? I'll put more in for you. They're all good. The chefs of House Zhao should be able to compete with 5-star hotels. They sure know how to enjoy themselves. Lin Yi was a master chef, and if even Lin Yi thought the dishes tasted good, the chef must be someone extraordinary. I'm sorry. If Senior Lin likes it, you can come here more often. Old Zhao smiled. Chapter 29:35. Lin ate another round. It was almost enough. He was basically full, so he said, Old Master Zhao, let's talk about serious business now? Yes, it's time to talk about serious business. Old Master Zhao narrowed his eyes and smiled, but his smile was particularly strange. What are you laughing at? Lin Yi frowned. Lin Yi, how do you feel now? Old Master Zhao suddenly asked. After hearing Old Master Zhao's question, Lin Yi was shocked. Previously, Old Master Zhao called him Senior Lin. Suddenly he called Lin Yi, which made Lin Yi feel that something was wrong. Moreover, Old Master Zhao asked him how he was. Could there be a problem? What do you mean? Lin Yi looked at Old Master Zhao coldly and asked, Could it be that you want to play some tricks again? Lin Yi, it's time for you to pay the debt you owe to our Zhao family. As Old Master Zhao said this, he stood up and looked at Lin Yi with a smile that wasn't a smile. He asked, Lin Yi, don't you think there's anything wrong? You're poisoned. Poisoned? Lin Yi was stunned and immediately asked, You poisoned the food. However, although Lin Yi asked this, he didn't believe it. After all, Lin Yi lived in a medicine pot since he was young. He was quite sensitive to poison. If there was poison in the food, he would definitely notice it. It wouldn't be like now, where he didn't notice it. Moreover, Lin Yi's jade pendant had an early warning function. If the food was really poisonous and could kill him, there would definitely be an early warning. However, Lin Yi hadn't received any warning signal until now, so this was also the reason why Lin Yi didn't believe it. Not bad, you can give it a try. Circulate the mantra and see what happens? Old Master Zhao looked at Lin Yi and said calmly. Circulate the mantra? Lin Yi subconsciously activated the art of dragon mastery, but in the next moment, he was shocked to find that he couldn't move the qi in his body at all. The art of dragon mastery didn't work at all. What was going on? Lin Yi was shocked. It was as if the vital energy in his body was being suppressed by something. Not only could he not circulate the mantra, but Lin even discovered that he could not condense the most basic vital energy bomb. What do you think? You can't take it anymore, right? Have you become a soft-footed shrimp? Ha! When old man Zhao saw Lin Yi's expression, he knew that Lin Yi had fallen for the trick. Needless to say, the poison provided by the Hidden Yu family was really useful. How did you do it? Lin Yi asked with a gloomy expression. This poison is an ancient poison. However, it is not a poison because it will not cause you to die, nor will it affect your normal life. It will only suppress your strength and make you an ordinary person who cannot use your strength. Old man Zhao explained. What? Ancient poison? Lin Yi's eyes swept across the dishes on the table. Lin Yi had eaten every dish on the table, but Lin Yi couldn't tell which dish was the problem. That was impossible. Even if it wasn't poison, as long as it would harm his body, why didn't the jade warn him? That's right, ancient poison. You don't need to look at it. Actually, I poison them separately. Each herb is actually not poisonous, but when mixed together, it will become poison. Old man Zhao said faintly, this method of poisoning Lin Yi, you should be familiar with it, right? Zhao Yaowang. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that when he was in Songshan's first high school, there was a mass poisoning incident. At that time, Zhong Pingliang used the deadly 7 herbs poison that Zhao Yaowang had given him and put it in each dish one by one, using the mixing method to poison them. Ha, looks like you're not stupid. You could cure the poison last time, but not this time, because there's no cure. Elder Zhao laughed. Lin Yi, how is it? You didn't think of this even in your dreams, did you? Ha, just now, I told Qibing to put in each dish for you so that you would be poisoned unknowingly. I didn't expect Zhao Yaowang to have this kind of ability, I forgot about it. Lin Yi didn't think much of it this time. After all, Zhao Yaowang had used the same method to poison others before, so naturally, Lin Yi thought that it was Zhao Yaowang who made the poison. Lin Yi, on the other hand, finally understood why there was no warning. Because there was no problem with the herbs in this poison. He ate them separately, and there was no danger when he ate each dish separately. Although the jade pendant could warn him of danger, it couldn't intelligently analyze the poison dishes when they were mixed together. Moreover, perhaps it was because this poison wasn't poison at all, but a type of medicine. It wouldn't bring any danger to Lin Yi, so the jade pendant ignored it. No matter what, Lin Yi still fell for it. But Lin Yi felt strange. Old man Zhao, when Zhao Qibing gave me the dish, you ate it too. I saw you eat it, so I ate it. Since there's no cure for this poison, why are you fine after eating it? Haha, idiot. Old man Zhao continued laughing. This poison only works on practitioners below sky class. It's useless for those above sky class. It's automatically dissolved. Unfortunately, although I'm only sky class early phase, I'm a true sky class master. And you, although you can kill a sky class mid-phase master, you're still an earth class late phase master. So, this poison doesn't work on me, but it works on you. What do you think? You were tricked, right? You ate it just because I ate it? Lin Yi's mouth twitched. He didn't think that old man Zhao would be so sinister, scheming like this. He couldn't help but smile bitterly. It seems like you didn't plan to call me boss at all. You've always treated me as an enemy. Lin Yi asked this, but in reality, he was stalling for time to find a solution. But what made Lin Yi helpless was that no matter how he looked, he couldn't find an effective solution. This poison, just like what old man Zhao said, couldn't be cured. He was an earth-class late-phase master, and his strength was stuck here. What could he do? Even if he could find a solution, at least there wasn't a good one right now. That's right, Lin, you think too highly of yourself. I'm a sky class master, do you think I'll give in to you? Old man Zhao humphed coldly. Today, we'll settle old and new debts together. Zhao Qibing, take him down. Chapter 29:36. Linny was shocked. Sadly, he realized that he couldn't even fight back against Qibing. Lin Yi's body was considered strong among normal people, but facing an earth class like Qibing, Lin Yi had no way of fighting back. Qikuan was stunned. He never would have thought that his grandpa was lying to him. He had been lying to him all this time. Grandpa didn't want Lin Yi to be the boss at all, making him the head of the house and building a good relationship with Lin. It was all fake. He was just using him. But Qikuan just kept his head down. He wasn't the rash Qikuan he used to be. After the house arrest, he had become more mature, and he wouldn't do anything rash. Qikuan was thinking about how to solve this crisis. With his strength, even if he fought with old Zhao, it wouldn't help at all. Other than losing his life, it wouldn't help at all. But Lin Yi couldn't use his strength right now. He was like a fish on a chopping board here. Even Qibing could easily control Lin Yi, so it was impossible for Lin Yi to turn things around. Qikuan, what do you think? Qikuan didn't say anything, but old Zhao looked at Qikuan with a smile that wasn't a smile. Grandpa, as the heir of the hidden house Zhao, naturally, I would put the house's interests first. Grandpa's decision is my decision. Qikuan said. Ha! Qibing heard Qikuan's words. Was Qikuan an idiot? Couldn't he tell that it was all an act? He still wanted to be the head of the house? But Qibing was about to say something when old Zhao cut him off with a look. Old Zhao looked at Qikuan interested. Oh, so you're saying that for the hidden house's interests, you can kill Leonie? Of course, Qikuan said firmly. House Zhao's blood flows in my veins. I am a disciple of House Zhao. Grandpa, although I don't feel good about you using me to plot against Lin Yi, I understand that you want to kill Lin Yi. So, I've decided to stand on your side. Is this what you really think? Elder Zhao, on the other hand, didn't expect that Qikuan would do this, publicly breaking up with Lin. Wasn't this too much of a drama? I know, Grandpa, that with just one level 3 pill, it's impossible for you to pass the position to me, but I can't deny that Zhao Qibing and I have the same starting point. Although he's stronger than me because of the pill, I've participated in 2 tests, and I have more experience than him. I also have Zhao Qijio, an unknown helper, so I'm not weaker than him. I have the right to compete. Qikuan said slowly. Grandpa, I'm just asking you to give me a fair chance. Ha, of course. Old Zhao laughed suddenly. It's good that you can think that way. We, the hidden houses, follow the rule of survival of the fit. There's only motivation when there's competition. Grandpa. Qibing's face changed. He didn't think that old Zhao would agree to Qikuan's request, but that wasn't what he said before. Qibing, I know what you're thinking, but Qikuan's right, you have the same starting point as him. You've both contributed to the hidden house, so you can't ask others not to compete with you. Old Zhao said. Yes. Qibing said helplessly. He didn't know why old Zhao changed his mind, but he couldn't just disobey. He could only nod. Lin Yi was a little angry at Qikuan's sudden change, but after calming down, Lin Yi realized that something was wrong. Qikuan didn't know what happened today. He was kept in the dark. Otherwise, this wouldn't have happened. And Qikuan, under these circumstances, had betrayed the hidden house Zhao. It seemed a bit strange. Lin Yi knew Qikuan's personality, and there had to be some other reason behind this. As a result, Lin Yi didn't say anything, choosing to wait and see. What happened today was a blessing, not a curse, and if it was a curse, he couldn't avoid it. Since he was already poisoned, he had no other choice but to get through this first. Qikuan, although I think that you're speaking the truth, in order to test you and prove that you have the right to be the successor of the hidden house, you and Qibing will kill Lin Yi now. Old Zhao said as he looked at Qikuan. This was old Zhao's true goal. He wanted Qikuan to kill Lin Yi, and Lin Yi would be in a lot of pain, wouldn't he? Watching his own follower betray him, raising a butcher's knife at him. How cruel was that? No problem. Qikuan agreed quickly. Grandpa, Do you really think I wanted him to be my boss before? I didn't have a choice. You accepted Zhao Qibing back into House Zhao and made him the first heir to the young master position. What could I do? In order to protect myself, I had to find another way and make Lin Yi my boss, but I still wanted to be the head of the hidden house. Now that I have this chance, I have to treasure it. So, Qibing doesn't need to do anything, I can do it myself. Oh? Yourself? Alright then go kill Lin. Old Zhao looked at Qikuan, surprised, but nodded. Yes, thank you for giving me this chance to wash away my shame. Qikuan cupped his fists in gratitude. I've wanted to kill Lin Yi for a long time. I'm a disciple of a hidden house. It's so embarrassing to have a solo practitioner as my boss. Qikuan's words stunned Qibing. Was this really Qikuan? Could it be that this was the real him and the one before was just a facade? If that was the case, then wasn't Qikuan too scheming? He'd been hiding it all this time, making Lin his boss because he had no other choice, and his goal was to return to the hidden house one day? At the thought, Qibing looked at his grandpa, and the two understood each other. This Qikuan was too scary. Qikuan, very good, very good. No wonder I always felt that your attitude towards me was fake. It was all fake. It seems that I've misjudged you. Lin Yi looked at Qikuan suddenly. Chapter 2937. Old Zhao looked at his grandson, shocked, as if he didn't know him. With that, Qikuan walked up to Lin Yi and raised his fist, ready to attack Lin. But as he raised his fist, he put it down. Qikuan, why aren't you attacking? Old Zhao frowned. Grandpa, if Lin Yi dies in our hidden house, it'll be bad for us. Qikuan said suddenly. Bad? Then what do you mean? Old Zhao looked at Qikuan coldly. Could it be that everything you said before was fake? Your real goal is to let Lin Yi go? Qikuan's heart skipped a beat, but his face didn't change. How is that possible? I just want to say that Lin Yi's identity is a little sensitive now. He has followers in the ancient world too. For example, Feng Shipian of the hidden Feng family and Li Siba of the ancient Holy Fist Palace. These two are Sky Division Masters. If they really want to cause trouble for the hidden Zhao family, we won't be able to handle it. Plus, there's also the young master of the Yellow Soil High Sect, Tuoyuo Wang, who received Lin Yi's grace before. He's like his name, overbearing, a little tyrant. If he knew that Lin Yi died in our hidden house and came for revenge, we wouldn't be a match for him. Old Zhao heard this, and it was like a bucket of cold water had been poured over his head. He calmed down immediately. He wasn't an idiot. He wanted to deal with Lin Yi, yes, but he couldn't deal with Lin Yi and get himself an enemy he couldn't handle. Qikuan's words weren't without reasons. It was easy for an ancient sect to take out a hidden house, and old Zhao had to be cautious. Then what do you mean? Let Lin Yi go just like that? Of course not to let him go. I used to be his little brother, so I know him very well. Although this poison is said to be an ancient poison, no one can guarantee that Lin Yi can cure it. So I think we should cripple Lin Yi and then let him go. Qikuan said, Lin Yi has too many enemies. It's not just our hidden house Zhao, there's the hidden house Yu, the Qianshan sect, the Golden Bell sect, and the Everyday sect. Any one of them can easily kill Lin. Why should we be the bad guys? Cripple? Old Zhao heard Qikuan's words, and his suspicions disappeared. He nodded and continued, then how do we do that? We'll break his limbs and shatter all his meridians. That way, even if Lin Yi has a way to break through the poison, he won't be able to use the practitioner's arts anymore. Qikuan said, yes, that's a good idea. As long as we spread the news of Lin Yi being crippled and poisoned, naturally, people would go after Lin Yi, and we wouldn't need to do anything. Old Zhao nodded. All right, if that's the case, go do it. In fact, old Zhao wanted to kill Lin Yi on the spot, but there were too many people who knew about this. If Lin Yi's little brother really came for revenge, then House Zhao wouldn't be able to handle it. They could only go with the second best option. Fortunately, Qikuan's idea wasn't bad at all. Just crippling the meridians isn't enough, we need the Dantian as well. Zhao Qibing interrupted, even if his meridians are destroyed, a part of it can still be healed with the Great Recovery Pill. If it's healed, then Lin Yi might have some kind of magical method to practice. If we destroy his dantian as well, then he won't be able to dissolve any pills. Even if he ate the Great Recovery Pill, it'd be a waste, he won't be able to recover. Chikuin's face changed. He had come up with so many plans just to protect Lin Yi. He knew that Lin Yi had a way to quickly recover, and so he came up with the idea of crippling the meridians. Of course, he didn't know that Lin Yi's meridians were all crippled and couldn't be healed without the practitioner's arts. He had only come up with a plan that could protect Lin Yi the best he could, preventing Lin Yi from dying on the spot. He didn't think that Qibing would be so evil as to add a crippled dantian. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat, and his face turned extremely ugly. When Lin Yi heard about crippling the meridians, Lin Yi knew that Chikuin wasn't a traitor, but was trying to help him out of danger. And Lin Yi had thought of a way to deal with this poison. Lin Yi's inspiration came from a poison called the 5-step disperser. He'd been poisoned. He'd used a qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit and neutralize the poison in order to get rid of the poison. Now, Lin Yi could use a qi-gathering pill or something like that to break through the level limit. As long as Lin Yi reached Sky Class, then this ancient poison would be useless. Just like old Zhao, wasn't he fine now? And so, after hearing Chikuin's words, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he could get out of here, there was still a way to save himself. As long as he used a Great Recovery Pill to repair a small part of his meridians, then he would use a Qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit. Then, Lin Yi would be able to use his Qi to repair his body and meridians. What he didn't expect was that Qibing would come up with another method, crippling his dantian. Once a pill entered a practitioner's body, it would dissolve in the dantian. If the dantian was destroyed, then the pill would be useless. Lin Yi couldn't use a Great Recovery Pill to repair his meridians, nor could he use a Qi-gathering pill to break through the level limit. Yes, there's still the dantian. Chikuin, naturally, couldn't argue with this. Hurry up, you hit the arm, I'll hit the leg. Qibing said excitedly. Aren't I supposed to do it alone? Chikuin frowned. So what if it's anyone else? It's better to have fun with everyone. Qibing was getting impatient. Are you going to fight or not? If not, I'll go first. With that, Chikuin lifted his leg and kicked at Lin Yi's leg. Chapter 2938. Now that he was crippled, Elder Zhao had nothing to fear, so Lin Yi didn't bother dodging. He just stood there and let them beat him. Although it was painful to break his dantian, there was still hope as long as he could make it back alive. Crack! With a crisp sound, Lin Yi's right leg was broken by Qibing's kick. You bastard, Lin Yi, I told you to hit my leg, did you enjoy it? Now it's my turn. Go die. With that, Qibing raised his leg and kicked at Lin Yi's left leg. Crack! With another crisp sound, Lin Yi's left leg was broken as well. With both legs broken, Lin Yi fell to the ground, but Lin Yi didn't even make a sound as he endured the pain. I stomp. I stomp. I stomp. Stomp, stomp. Zhao Qibing was addicted to breaking his legs, jumping up and down excitedly. He stepped on Lin Yi's broken legs, stomping back and forth as he shouted excitedly. It was as if he was playing a very interesting game. Lin Yi laid on the ground, expressionless. Today's events had taught Lin Yi a lesson. Even if it was his follower, he had to be vigilant, because his follower might be kept in the dark. Chikuin's heart was about to explode as he watched Lin Yi stomp on him. But seeing that Lin Yi didn't cry out in pain, Chikuin was impressed. He didn't think that Lin Yi could still be so strong without qi protection. In fact, this bit of pain was nothing to Lin Yi. It was much more painful when he used the compressed qi bomb. Lin Yi survived it, but Lin Yi regretted not wearing the golden cicada underwear. After the test, Lin Yi took it off. But, thinking about it, even if Lin Yi wore it, Elder Zhao was a Sky Class early phase. Lin Yi wouldn't be able to leave unscathed. Chikuin, naturally, couldn't show any sympathy. Seeing Lin Yi stomp on Lin Yi, he pretended to be excited and stepped on Lin Yi's arm. Lin Yi, I've been pissed at you for a long time. What right do you have to be my boss? What the hell, I'll stomp you to death. Crack. Another crisp sound, and Lin Yi's arm broke as well. Zhao Chikuin, very well, I've finally seen through you. Lin Yi's voice was very cold, making Chikuin shiver. But, Chikuan didn't believe that Lin Yi couldn't tell that he was faking it. From the way Lin Yi said that he was acting, Lin Yi probably knew that he was trying to save him. Is that so? But I'm sorry, it's too late. With that, Chikuan stepped on Lin Yi's other arm, and with another crisp crack, Lin Yi's left arm broke as well. Lin Yi humphed coldly, not saying anything else. Chikuan walked away after stomping on Lin Yi's leg, unlike Qibing, who wanted to do a zombie dance on Lin Yi's leg. Lin Yi's leg bones were cracking under his feet, as if they were about to break into pieces. You're done? I'll keep stomping then. Qibing evidently didn't feel like stomping on Lin Yi's legs. He ran over and took over Chikuan's job, stomping on Lin Yi's arms as well. What's the point? Stomp him to death if you can. Chikuan curled his lips, looking at Qibing in disdain. Don't provoke me, you think I don't dare? Qibing humphed coldly, pissed off at Chikuan's questioning. Then do it. As long as you announce to the public that you have nothing to do with the hidden house Zhao, then Lin Yi's ancient follower will come for revenge, and I won't have to compete with you for the position anymore. Chikuan said nonchalantly. Do you think I'm an idiot? Qibing stomped 2 more times before walking to the side, disinterested. He said to old Zhao, Grandpa, I'll leave breaking the meridians and dantian to you. If I can't do it well, Chikuan won't be able to either. Elder Zhao looked at the 2 grandsons mocking each other, but his face didn't show any expression. He only nodded, stood up, and walked in front of Lin Yi, reaching out his hand and started hitting Lin Yi's body. Breaking someone's meridians was a difficult job, but of course, if Lin Yi didn't have pure qi protecting his body, it would be much easier. All old Zhao had to do was find the right spot and hit him. And so, old Zhao broke all of Lin Yi's meridians and broke Lin Yi's dantian before standing up, satisfied. Qibing, Chikuan, send Lin Yi home. He's our guest, of course we have to send him home. Yes, Grandpa. Qibing and Chikuan cupped their fists. Elder Mian, spread the news of Lin Yi being poisoned, especially to Ganshan sect, Golden Clock sect, Hidden House Yu, and Hidden House Yu. Don't miss it. Old Zhao continued. Yes, Master. Elder Mian nodded. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was carried out of Hidden House Zhao by Qibing and Chikuan. Qibing smiled as he walked, but his eyes were cold when he looked at Chikuan. He felt that Chikuan had stolen his position as the young master, and he wasn't happy about it. After leaving, he couldn't help but mock him. Some people really are unscrupulous in order to get a position, betraying their own boss. What a weirdo. A wise man submits to circumstances. Zhao Qibing, you're just a bastard, what right do you have to fight me? Chikuan smiled coldly. Even if I'm a bastard, I'm still the son of the current young master Zhao Guangyin. You, on the other hand, are just a side branch disciple. Qibing curled his lips. They got in the car, and Qibing drove while Chikuan escorted Lin Yi from the back. They returned to Lin Yi's villa in the Shueshang district, and without knocking, Qibing blared the car's horn. It was as if a train was coming. Not just the people in Lin Yi's villa, but even the people in the surrounding villas were deafened. Is there something wrong with him? Who's looking to die, driving a train here? Before anyone came out of Lin Yi's villa, one of the residents who was on their way home saw a Porsche Cayenne blaring its horn in front of them. The sound was deafening and he was furious. Chapter 29:39. Clang, clang, clang. A muscular man wearing a black singlet with a crew cut and tattoos on his arms got out of the Aston Martin. He smashed the window of Qibing's Cayenne driver's seat as he cursed, "You little bastard, you don't know how to show off now that you have some money? Fuck you, get out of the car." After returning to the hidden house, Qibing rarely caused trouble in the common world. After all, he was in the hidden world, and he had to be careful about the hidden rules. He didn't want to talk to this man, but he didn't expect him to curse at his grandpa. Wasn't that the same as cursing at old Zhao? If he didn't do anything, Chikuan might go back and complain to old Zhao about him, and he'd die in vain. And so, Qibing opened the door and jumped out of the car, sending the man flying with a kick to his chest. He spat out a mouthful of blood before landing heavily on his sports car with a loud crash. His eyes rolled back as he fainted. Qibing's eyes rolled back as he looked at Qibing. Qibing's eyes flashed as he jumped off the car. "What the hell? You overestimate yourself, cursing at me." If it weren't for the fact that I'm fighting for the head of the house, I'd kill you right now. Qibing humphed coldly, not caring about the man anymore. Originally, many of the neighbors heard that Zhao Qibing had been using his horn to disturb the people, and they wanted to join the brawny man in attacking Zhao Qibing, but they didn't think that Zhao Qibing would raise his leg and easily send the brawny man flying. They didn't know if he was dead or alive, and they all retreated in fear. The residents all knew how strong the bulky man was. He was a gangster who could take on 10 people at once, and he was even a Sonda coach. Someone like that was sent flying by Zhao Qibing. What kind of strength did he have to have? At that moment, Yushu came out and saw Qibing kick the man. She frowned. Little Zhao, what are you doing here? Didn't you treat Shield Bro to dinner? Heh, isn't this Yushu? Qibing looked at Yushu, a cruel smile on his face. That's right, Lin Yi finished his meal, and we sent him back. Chitan, return Lin Yi to Miss Chen. Qikuan wasn't willing, but there was nothing he could do. He lifted Lin Yi off the car, and in order to prevent Qibing from noticing, he slammed Lin Yi onto the ground in front of the villa. There was a loud thud under Yushu's feet. Shield Bro, what happened? Yushu and Meng Yao were shocked to see Lin Yi's hands and feet covered in blood, his face pale as a sheet. Zhao Qikuan, what's going on? What did you do to Lin Yi? The reason why Meng Yao asked Qikuan what he did to Lin Yi and not what happened to Lin Yi was because Qikuan had thrown Lin Yi to the ground, and that wasn't befitting of a follower. Meng Yao, Yushu, can't you tell? Qikuan has betrayed us, and has returned to the hidden house Zhao. I'm not afraid to tell you that Lin Yi is like this because of Qikuan. Qibing didn't forget to smear Qikuan's face. Meng Yao was both angry and worrying. She didn't think that Qikuan would betray them, and Lin Yi was beaten up like this after just one meal. Evidently, with Lin Yi's strength, it was impossible for the Zhaos to hurt him, unless it was a trap. But the person Lin Yi was least guarded against was Qikuan, so naturally Meng Yao thought that it was Qikuan who did this to Lin. How can you be so ungrateful? Lin Yi has always treated you well, and you betrayed him at a critical moment. Miss Chu, they say that a wise man submits to the circumstances. I have the chance to become the head of the hidden house Zhao, why wouldn't I do it? Qikuan humphed coldly. If there's nothing else, I'll be leaving first. You guys take one last look at Lin Yi. Lin Yi's enemies will be here soon, and when that happens, Qikuan's tone was cold, but he was actually reminding Meng Yao and Yushu to think of a way, but he couldn't say it out loud, so he could only use this method to remind them. Meng Yao was infuriated. She didn't think that Qikuan would betray them like this. Fine, do you think I want to stay here? Qikuan said faintly before turning to get in the car. Lin Yi knew that Qikuan was innocent, but he couldn't explain in front of Qibing. He could only let him leave. But Qibing wasn't going to let it go just like that. His eyes were still on Yushu, revealing an evil look. Yushu, I didn't dare touch you before, but this time, no one can save you. Qibing's voice was filled with rage. You little bitch, you came to my company wanting to see the building collapse, hitting my legs and my head with a stick. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? If it wasn't for Lin Yi protecting you, do you think you'd still be alive today? Although I don't dare kill Lin Yi right now, I don't have to worry so much if I kill you. You're just a girl from the common house Qin, you'll die for nothing. Qibing hated Yushu to the bone, and he'd wanted to kill her for a long time. This girl dared to come to his company and watch the building collapse, and even set him up for a beating. If he didn't kill her, he'd be letting Lin Yi down. Qibing, don't go too far. Lin Yi hadn't said anything, but he couldn't hold it in anymore. Lin Yi could accept it if Qibing attacked him, but attacking Yushu and Meng Yao was something Lin Yi couldn't tolerate. Don't forget, I still have some ancient level underlings. If you really want to make a move, think about what's waiting for you. Are you trying to scare me? Qibing wasn't moved at all. He glared at him and smiled. Ancient underlings? That's yours, not Yushu's. I don't believe your ancient underlings can avenge her. If your ancient underlings were that useful, why didn't you contact them? I didn't take away your phone on the way back, and I didn't stop you from contacting others. Do you think I don't know that? Don't use your broken arm as an excuse. I know you can call them if you want. Call me when your arm is broken. Lin Yi was a little annoyed. Qibing, I advise you to stop. Chapter 2940. Qikuan was panicking as well. He wanted to stop them, but he wasn't as strong as Qibing, so there was no point in stopping him. Plus, he was a spy, and he had to maintain this identity in order to find a way to save Lin Yi. But watching Yushu get beaten up with his own eyes was still painful for Qikuan. But at this critical moment, a loud roar sounded. Roar! The purple thunderbolt beast sensed the danger at the villa's doorstep and rushed out with General Wei Wu towards Zhao Qibing, who was about to rape Yushu. Roar! Roar! The purple thunderbolt beast sensed the danger at the villa's doorstep and rushed towards Zhao Qibing, who was about to rape Yushu. The arrival of the purple lightning beast and General Wei Wu made Lin Yi heave a sigh of relief. He knew that these two spirit beasts wouldn't just sit there and watch, and would definitely come to save Yushu, but that was just a guess. Only when they really came would Lin Yi be at ease. Qikuan breathed out in relief as well, remembering that Lin Yi had a backup plan. If it weren't for these two spirit beasts, Yushu would have been in danger today. But what Lin Yi and Qikuan didn't expect was that Qibing wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he started laughing. I knew you stupid spirit beasts would come. Zhao Qibing smiled coldly as he waved his hand, scattering the powder in his hand towards the two spirit beasts that were running towards him. You think I didn't prepare anything before killing Yushu here? The two spirit beasts were hit by the powder and fell to the ground, unconscious. This happened in an instant, and everyone was shocked. Zhao Qibing naturally came prepared. The powder in his hand was provided by Master Wu of the Qianshan sect. It could be used on all spirit beasts below the Earth class. As long as the spirit beast was sprinkled with the powder, it would fall into a deep sleep and wake up naturally after an hour. It wouldn't cause any damage to the spirit beast, but it could make it faint temporarily. There wasn't much of this powder, and if it weren't for the fact that they had to deal with Lin Yi, they wouldn't have taken it out. Yushu, let's see who can save you now. Your spirit beast is done for, isn't it? Qibing said proudly. Now, hurry up and accept your death. Fuck. You little Zhao, are you trying to act cool? Do you think I won't dare to hit you a second time? Yushu didn't know when the steel rod appeared in her hand, but she was about to swing it at Zhao Qibing. It turned out that Skybolt's pig had seen that things weren't looking good from afar, so he'd brought the mystical steel rod over. Qibing thought that Yushu was just putting up a last-ditch struggle. As far as he was concerned, his punch on Yushu's body would be much stronger than Yushu's stick. He might even be able to kill Yushu on the spot, and Yushu might not even be able to hit him with the stick. And so, Qibing didn't dodge. He threw it straight at Yushu. Bang! It wasn't the sound of Qibing's fist hitting Yushu's body, but the sound of Yushu's mystical steel rod hitting Qibing's head. Ah! Zhao Qibing cried out in pain. His head was bleeding from Yushu's punch, and although his fist landed on Yushu's body, other than taking 2 steps back, she didn't seem to be injured at all. Qibing looked at Yushu in disbelief. How was this possible? He didn't use any martial arts, but his fist of Earth-class early phase Qi should have crippled Yushu even if she didn't die. How could she be fine? Qibing, on the other hand, was bleeding from his head. What the? Zhao Qibing was enraged. He charged at Yushu with his claws and fangs bared. He wanted to kill Yushu. Stop! At this moment, before Zhao Qibing could reach Yushu again, a black figure suddenly appeared in front of her, blocking her way. Gah! Qibing was surprised, but he wasn't an idiot. He quickly stopped himself because the black figure in front of him had the strength of a sky-class early phase. But when Qibing saw the face of the person in front of him, he froze. This person was Yu Yi from the Hidden House Yu, the sky-class master who followed Elder Yu all the time. Qibing had been to the Hidden House Yu before, and naturally, he had seen this Yu, but he didn't know why Yu Yi was here. Isn't this Mr. Yu Yi? From what I know, the Hidden House Yu has a grudge against Lin Yi, right? Why are you here? Qibing didn't understand why Yu Yi suddenly stopped him. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was surprised at Yu Yi's appearance. Could it be that Yu Ning sent him to help him? But thinking about it, it wasn't very likely. Yu Yi was Yu Xing's personal follower, and his position in the Hidden House Yu was very high. Even the head of the house, Yu Shaochen, couldn't order him around, let alone Yu Ning. Zhao Qibing, enough is enough. Yui didn't answer Qibing's question because there were some things he couldn't answer. Because the marriage and inheritance was about to be announced, in order to prevent anything from happening to Yushu, Yui came here on the way, but he didn't expect to meet Qibing who wanted to kill Yushu. If it weren't for the fact that Yui couldn't say some things, he would have killed Qibing. Was Yushu someone he could touch? Not to mention Yushu's identity and the marriage, even without that, he couldn't let Qibing bully her. What do you mean? Qibing didn't understand. Yui, are you protecting Lin Yi? Yui humphed and didn't answer. Is it because of Yuning? Your hidden house Yu is on Lin Yi's side? Qibing vaguely felt that he had guessed something. He was extremely shocked and asked with uncertainty, could it be that Hidden House Yu is starting to build a good relationship with Lin Yi? That's not something you should worry about, Yui said faintly. Mr. Yui, let me give you a piece of advice. Lin Yi is already crippled, even a god can't save him. He is destined to be a cripple even if he doesn't die. Plus, he has many enemies. Maybe someone will come for revenge tomorrow. I advise you to stay away from him, lest you get into trouble. Qibing advised. Chapter 2941. Qibing didn't think that Yui would be so stubborn. No matter what he said, he would always be so cold. He had no choice but to say, forget it, I'll leave then. If you don't want to listen, then don't listen. Yui snorted coldly and answered Qibing's question. Qibing had no choice but to turn around and get in the car. You drive, my head's broken. Serves you right, who told you to be a busybody? Chikuin said mockingly as he got in the driver's seat. He started the car and left quickly. Mr. Yui, why are you helping me? Lin Yi was injured, but it wasn't to the point where he couldn't speak. With curiosity, Lin Yi asked. But Yui didn't give Lin Yi any answer. He turned around and left, Yui's sudden arrival, helping, and leaving suddenly confused Lin. But among the people present, there was one person who understood why Yui would help. It was Yushu. But Yushu couldn't reveal anything. She squatted down and held Lin Yi's hand. Shield bro, are you okay? Yeah, Lin Yi, how did you get hurt like this? I'll carry you back to your room to heal. Meng Yao said quickly. Okay. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Even if he went back to his room, he wouldn't be able to heal. He couldn't use his practitioner's arts, so how could he heal? Even with General Wei Wu and Skybolt Pig, the two spirit beasts from the same sect, Lin Yi couldn't get pure energy from them with his practitioner's art suppressed. It was a dead end. If Qibing hadn't suggested breaking Lin Yi's Dantian, Lin Yi could have used the Qi Gathering Pill to level up and break through to Sky Class, then use the Art of Dragon Mastery to heal his meridians. Even if he didn't have the pill, he could use General Wei Wu or Skybolt Pig to recover, but Qibing had messed up Lin Yi's plans. One had to admit that Qibing was quite the schemer, putting Lin Yi in a very difficult position. Meng Yao and Yushu carried Lin Yi back to his room, helpless. But Lin Yi smiled and comforted. Shu, why are you wearing the mid-level golden cicada underwear? Lin Yi remembered that after he came back from the Sky Elixir sex test, he put away the golden cicada underwear. He didn't expect Shu to take it out and wear it. Luckily, she wore it or she wouldn't have been able to take that punch. Although Yui stopped Qibing later, one had to admit that this mid-level golden cicada underwear played a decisive role. As for Yui's appearance, Lin Yi didn't understand why, but he was grateful. If it wasn't for him, Qibing would have turned to Meng Yao after attacking Yushu. Yushu had the mid-level golden cicada underwear, but Meng Yao didn't. If Qibing really hit Meng Yao, the consequences would have been unimaginable. I don't know. Shu thought it was fun, so I put it on. I didn't expect Shu to be this good. Yushu didn't know that Lin Yi couldn't recover, so her tone was relaxed. There wasn't a trace of sadness. I see. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that Yushu told him to be careful before he went to the Hidden House Zhao's banquet. He didn't think much of it at the time, but now it seemed that Yushu's prophecy ability was really, at that thought, Lin Yi regretted it. He shouldn't have trusted Chikuin so much. After all, Chikuin could make mistakes sometimes. But this time, Elder Zhao was willing to sacrifice 200 million to surrender. Lin Yi really didn't expect him to play tricks like this. Shield bro, I'll be leaving with Yao Yao first. You can heal yourself first. You can tell us what happened today after you're healed, Yushu said. Okay. Lin Yi nodded. Yushu pulled Meng Yao and was about to leave when Meng Yao suddenly stopped. Wait, what's wrong, Yao Yao? Yushu blinked. Meng Yao turned around and looked at Lin. Wait, Lin Yi, are you hiding something from us? Your injuries? Are they serious? The miss was very smart. She knew that other than the time when Lin Yi resigned, he always recovered quickly. Even if he couldn't fully recover, Lin Yi's broken arms and legs would recover. But Lin Yi had been home for a while now, and his injuries didn't seem to be recovering at all. Plus, Lin Yi didn't ask for General Wei Wu or Skybolt Pig to come. This made Meng Yao suspicious. Perhaps Lin Yi's injuries were more serious than she thought. That's right. Yushu reacted as well, frowning. Shield bro, what's going on? Seeing the Miss and Shu's expressions, Lin Yi knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. They were starting to get suspicious. Lin Yi could only tell them the truth. That's right. This time, it's more serious than I thought. I'm crippled for the time being. Lin Yi didn't hide anything from these two girls who were closest to him. He knew that the Zhaos might be able to sell him out, but Meng Yao and Yushu wouldn't be able to. So, he told them everything that had happened today. When Meng Yao and Yushu heard about Lin Yi's poisoning, they were shocked and uneasy. Even Lin Yi couldn't cure the poison. What could they do? Besides, Lin Yi's dantian was broken. No medicine would work on him. It was the same as walking on the road to death. Don't worry, it's serious, but it might not be as bad as you think. Maybe there's a solution. Lin Yi smiled at the two sad expressions. Do me a favor. Give Professor Guan a call, and then give Boss Bai and Mr. Bai a call. Tell them to come to the villa and try to think of something. With Grandpa Guan's medical skills, the wounds on my body won't be a problem for him. It might be a little slow, but it'll be fine. As for the meridians and dantian, I'll need Mr. Bai's help. There's almost no hope of curing the poison. I can't get the food from Zhao Qibing and I can't analyze it. Yeah, I didn't think that Zhao Qikuan would betray us too. Meng Yao complained. If it weren't for him, you wouldn't have gone to the banquet. Chapter 2942. However, Lin Yi didn't tell Meng Yao and Yushu about Qikuan. Lin Yi didn't want them to drag Qikuan down after knowing the truth. Alright, stop complaining. Yao Yao, call Grandpa Guan and Professor Bai. Shu, call Wu Chintian, Pai Zhishan, and Han Xiaopa. Tell them to come and protect the villa. As for the hidden house Shuang, Lin Yi didn't contact them. Lin Yi's relationship with them was only built on threats and threats. Lin Yi couldn't guarantee that they wouldn't have other thoughts after hearing that he was crippled. House Xiao's incident had taught Lin Yi a lesson. He knew how to be on guard against people who weren't reliable. All right. Despite her complaints, Meng Yao dialed Xu Emin's number right away. She didn't say much on the phone, only telling him that Lin Yi was looking for him and that he needed to come to Donghai's villa as soon as possible. Xu Emin was a bit confused as to why Lin Yi was looking for him so suddenly, but he wanted to come to Donghai to see Guan Xin as well. He agreed immediately and prepared to leave. Boss Bai's side was much easier. He heard that Lin Yi was looking for him, so he rushed over from his school. His school was quite close, so it didn't take long for him to appear at Lin Yi's villa. Seeing that it was Meng Yao who opened the door, Boss Bai was a little surprised. He was already confused enough when Meng Yao called him, and now it was Meng Yao again. Boss Bai was even more confused now. Usually, Lin Yi would call him personally. Meng Yao was the closest person to Lin Yi, but this was still a bit weird. Boss Bai couldn't help but ask, Meng Yao, wasn't Lin Yi looking for me? Where is he? Professor Bai, it's hard to say on the phone. Meng Yao's face was a bit pale. Something happened to Lin Yi, he's in the room. You'll know when you see him. What? Did something happen to Lin Yi? Boss Bai was shocked. Meng Yao didn't bother reminding Lin Yi as she walked into the villa, forgetting to change her shoes. Meng Yao didn't bother reminding Lin Yi. She didn't have the time to care about that. Pushing the door open and walking into Lin Yi's room, Boss Bai saw Lin Yi lying on the bed with blood all over his limbs. He couldn't help but be shocked. Lin Yi, what happened to you? Why don't you heal yourself? Boss Bai was well aware of Lin Yi's capabilities. By logic, Lin Yi should have healed himself a long time ago, but why was he still in such a state? Lin Yi had been calling me for a while now. Lin Yi should have recovered from his injuries by now. Teacher Bai, it's a long story. Lin Yi smiled bitterly, but he didn't hide anything. He told Boss Bai about his experience today in detail, especially about the poison. Lin Yi explained it in great detail. So that's how it is. After hearing this, Boss Bai frowned and fell into deep thought. Teacher Bai, you are so knowledgeable. Is there really no antidote for this ancient poison? Lin Yi didn't want to give up. If he could find the antidote, then everything would be easy. After all, this poison had the effect of suppressing the mantra. Once he was poisoned, he wouldn't be able to use the mantra. Although Lin Yi's meridians and dantian were all damaged, as long as he could use the mantra, he could use Skybolt Pig or General Wei Wu to automatically guide the art of dragon mastery to repair his meridians and dantian. However, if he couldn't use the mantra, then everything was just empty talk. This ancient poison, I seem to have seen it somewhere before. But you also know that I spent most of my time studying alchemy. I didn't even bother to touch anything that wasn't related to alchemy. So, I can't think of any information about this poison in such a short time. Boss Bai shook his head helplessly and said apologetically, but I have a chance to ask junior brother Xianzhen. He may know. But old Zhao also said that this poison has no antidote. I'm afraid that even if you know the detailed information, it won't help. Lin Yi said, Boss Bai, under normal circumstances, if the dantian is damaged, how can it be repaired? Repairing the elixir field. Boss Bai narrowed his eyes and was lost in thought. After a while, he raised his head and said, It said that in the ancient times, some experts of the primordial sects could not only repair the elixir field and meridians, but also reshape the body. However, these methods have all been lost. I've only heard some similar anecdotes from my master, but he didn't mention the details. I guess my master doesn't know it either, so that's how it is. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. If there is a way to repair it, my meridians wouldn't have been damaged for so long. Boss Bai shrugged and said, After I met you, you helped me heal it. This is the only way I've seen and heard of that can repair other people's injuries. If I wasn't poisoned, it wouldn't be a problem to repair my meridians and dantian. But now I can't. Lin Yi couldn't do anything. If Boss Bai couldn't do anything, then there really was no other way. Lin Yi's only hope now was Jiao Yazi and that damned thing. Forget it, Mr. Bai, you can rest here for a while. I've also called Grandpa Guan to come and have him take a look at my wounds. No matter what, my wounds should be healed first. All right, then I'll go to the living room and contact Xianzhen first. You can rest first. Boss Bai didn't disturb Lin Yi and stood up, walking out of the room. Meng Yao and Yushu followed him out, leaving Lin Yi alone in the room. Jiao Lao, you know my situation now, right? What should I do? Lin Yi asked anxiously after entering the jade space. Kid Lin, you're in a bad situation right now. The art of dragon mastery is completely suppressed, and I can't think of a solution right now. Jiao Yazi's face turned serious as well. He must be feeling a headache for Lin Yi's current situation. Where's that damn thing? Lin Yi looked at the corner of the jade space. There's no reaction. It's probably in hibernation mode again. Jiao Yazi said, It might be able to help you when your life is in danger, but that's under the condition that it's awake. If it's not awake, it wouldn't even know you're dead. Chapter 2943. Other than the art of dragon mastery, do you remember any other methods to repair the meridians and dantian? Linith. Not at the moment. Jiao Yazi shook his head. Lin Yi didn't ask any more. Jiao Yazi had already said everything he needed to say. He didn't know the rest, so Lin Yi could only give up for now. As for his external injuries, Lin already had a treatment plan in his mind. Although the broken bones in his 4 limbs were quite serious, caused by that little bastard Zhao Qibing, Lin Yi was still confident that he could recover. Before he became a practitioner and didn't know the benefits of the art of dragon mastery, Lin Yi's medical skills were very good. To an assassin like Lin Yi, getting injured was a common occurrence, so his treatment methods were very good. So, as long as Lin Yi came up with a prescription and an acupuncture treatment method, it would be fine. He believed that with Guan Xuemin's medical skills, it wouldn't be a problem if he had a treatment plan. As expected, at night, Lin Yi told Guan Shuemin his suggestion, and Guan Shuemin agreed without hesitation. Originally, Guan Shuemin came to Lin Yi's place happily and wanted to call Guan Xian as well, but after knowing about Lin Yi's injuries, he naturally couldn't call Guan Xian. She would be worried if she saw him. Your injuries this time are very serious. If it wasn't for your treatment plan, even I wouldn't be 100% sure if it was me. Guan Shuemin said. Yeah, but it can only treat the external injuries on the surface. As for the other internal injuries, I can't do anything for now, Lin Yi sighed. The level of your opponent right now is beyond my capabilities. I can't help you, Guan Shuemin said. But you have to persevere. If you really can't do it, just hide. I don't want XN to be sad. Lin Yi's heart moved. He knew what Guan Shuemin meant, but Lin Yi couldn't give Guan Xian too much of a response right now. Lin Yi had enough women around him, and it wasn't good for him to give Guan Xian any more promises. He could only let nature take its course. But Lin Yi still nodded. I understand, thank you for the reminder, Grandpa Guan. In actuality, when Lin Yi had no other choice, he had thought of hiding and bringing Meng Yao, Yu Shu, Han Jingjing, and the others back to West Star Village. According to Old Man Guan, even if a Sky-class late-phase peak went there, it would be easy to kill them. As long as they didn't leave the village, they would be safe. But if Pai Jishan, Han Xiaopa, Wu Chentian, and the others all stood on Lin Yi's side, Lin Yi's enemies in the hidden plain would still be wary. As for his enemies in the ancient plain, even if Lin Yi wasn't injured, if a few elders from the everyday sect came to surround him, he would be dead for sure. It was the same for the people from the Five Elements sect. Lin Yi didn't have much of a chance to fight back, and so Lin Yi decided to observe the situation first. After all, the situation this time was different from the past, and those low-level clowns wouldn't act rashly. At night, Wu Chentian, Wu Gonggao, Han Xiaopa, Han Tianba, Pai Jishan, Pai Jihai, and Old Man Pai all came to Lin Yi's villa. Lin Yi didn't expect so many people to come. Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief as well. This way, with Old Man Pai, a Sky class and a group of Earth class masters, he wouldn't have to worry about the hidden plane. As for the ancient plane, Lin Yi really couldn't imagine who would want to go against him. Hidden House Xiao. After Qibing and Qikuan returned to the hidden house, they sat respectfully in the meeting room, waiting for old Zhao to announce the next step. Soon, old Zhao walked into the meeting room and looked at Qibing and Qikuan, asking faintly, "How is it? Sending Lin Yi back was smooth, right? Don't mention it. I wanted to kill that girl Yu Shu, but who would have thought that from the hidden house you would stop me, not letting me touch the people around Lin?" Qibing said hatefully. What? House Yu is interfering? Old Zhao frowned after hearing Qibing's words. What was going on? Could it be that House Yu didn't approve of killing Lin Yi? House Yu's Yu Ning, manipulating old Yu's thoughts? I'm not sure about that. I'm a little regretful that I didn't kill Lin Yi on the way. If the hidden House Yu interfered, then Lin Yi's enemies wouldn't dare act rashly. Even the hidden House Yu wouldn't be able to go against the hidden House Yu. Qibing said regretfully. It's good that you killed him, I approve of it. After you kill him, Lin Yi's ancient follower will come after you, and I'll be the head of the house, Qikuan said with a smile. Chitan, don't say any more. Old Master Zhao suddenly waved his hand. Grandpa, Qikuan paused. Qikuan, after thinking about it, the position of the young head has to go to Qibing. After all, I promised him first. As for you, you've betrayed the house before, and now you're betraying the boss. That's not enough to convince everyone. So, if you stay in our hidden house, I can get you the position of Elder Mion. Old Zhao poured a bucket of cold water on Qikuan's head. Qikuan's face changed. He didn't care about the position of the head of the house. After all, he was a spy, but he didn't expect his grandpa to be this heartless. Even the competition he promised was fake. He was afraid that this wasn't some so-called careful consideration at all, but that Elder Zhao had planned this from the start. He wanted to get rid of the donkey after Lin Yi's incident was over, and he didn't even consider making him the head of the house. It was all a scam. As expected, this kind of crazy person didn't deserve to be Qikuan's family anymore. Now, Qikuan had finally made up his mind to cut ties with the hidden house. In the past, he'd always had some fantasies, But after this, and thinking about how old Zhao treated boss Zhu and second Zhu, Qikuan felt that he was just a pawn by old Zhao's side that he could use. Chapter 2944. Grandpa, you've been lying to me all this time, haven't you? Qikuan's face changed. Old Zhao paused but didn't hide it. He nodded. That's right, if I didn't lie to you, why would you change sides so willingly? Lin Yi was betrayed by his follower, he must be in pain. Ha. So that's it, you used me? Qikuan's face darkened as he lowered his head. Zhao Qikuan, think about who you are, you've already betrayed House Zhao once. How could we put you in an important position? With a pig brain like yours, you still want to fight for the position of head of the house? How is that possible? Qibing finally understood the truth now, and couldn't help but mock Qikuan. Now you give up, right? So, no matter how hard I try, in your eyes, I'm not as good as Zhao Qibing. Qikuan sighed. Aren't you afraid that I'll switch to Lin Yi's side? Can you? Old Zhao looked at Qikuan with a smile that wasn't a smile. You think that if you go back and tell Lin Yi will accept you? Don't forget who broke his arm. Qikuan's face went ashen, but his eyes shone with unwillingness. Why? I brought back the third-level pill too. There's no why. As the head of the house, you have to disregard your own family. Zhao Qibing did this better than you. That's all. Old Zhao said faintly, if you really want to ask why, then it's because Zhao Qibing is Zhao Guangyin's son. Him ascending to the position is more in line with House Zhao's current stability. If you ascended to the position, let's not talk about whether or not Zhao Guangyin would agree to it. Even his own people wouldn't want to see this. I see. Qikuan nodded disappointed. In fact, he was just acting. I understand, I don't need the position of Elder Mian. I'll be free from now on, it'll be nice to be a spoiled brat. That's right, it's good that you've thought things through. Qibing breathed out in relief at the sight of Qikuan's despair. His grandpa was on his side, but it'd be troublesome if Qikuan kept causing trouble. Just be like me before, being a spoiled rich kid, there's nothing bad about that. I understand. Qikuan stood up and left, as if he didn't want to say anything more. Old Zhao and Qibing looked at each other and smiled. This was the best result. If Qikuan didn't fight for it, then let him be. House Zhao didn't need too many people anyway. We need to keep a close eye on Lin Yi and see what the hidden house Yu is planning. Old Zhao said, all right, I'll be at the floating cloud bar for the next few days. It's very close to Lin Yi's house, I'll just gather information there, Qibing said. The next morning, Xuemin followed Lin Yi's orders and went to get the medicine and started treating Lin. Chen Tian and the others, on the other hand, were acting as bodyguards around the villa. What made Lin Yi feel relieved was that after so long, the news should have spread out, but none of the hidden houses came looking for Lin. Instead, it attracted the two brothers of the hidden house. Wu Chentian, boss is injured, why didn't you tell us? Do you think we're weak? Although we don't have any sky class, you can't look down on us like that, can you? Zhuang Niapeo looked at Chen Tian angrily. Chen Tian smiled bitterly. We don't have any sky class either, right? Boss didn't invite you guys. Maybe it's because House Zhuang is further away? What about House Pai? Zhuang Niapeo wasn't satisfied. House Pai is further away than us. All right, Zhuang Niapeo, House Pai only came because we have a sky class master. Since we're here, let's protect our boss together. There's no point in talking about this. Zhishan tried to smooth things over. That's true. Zhuang Niapeo gave Zhuang Niapeo a look, telling him not to worry too much about this. He had a rough idea of what was going on. Perhaps it was because House Zhuang was the last to join Lin Yi, so Lin Yi didn't really trust them, so he didn't invite them. But the more it was like this, the more Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo wanted to move forward. Since they had started working with Zhou Tiandi, the two brothers, Zhou Tiandi and Zhou Roguang, would often see each other, and they would always talk about how strong Lin Yi was. Among all the powers in Songshan, only House Zhou stayed loyal to Lin Yi. That's why they were able to survive. Those who were half-hearted and arrogant, like the Golden Bell sect, were all killed. And so, House Zhuang's thoughts were subtly influenced, and they felt that following Lin Yi was the best choice. When they heard that Lin Yi was injured, they didn't think about House Zhuang's future, they came to protect Lin Yi first. From their point of view, Lin Yi's injuries were definitely healed, so they didn't think too much about it. However, the arrival of the two Zhou brothers made Lin Yi heave a sigh of relief. It seemed like his lackeys were quite reliable. Just when Lin Yi was happy about his lackeys, in the villa came the first unhappy thing that happened after Lin Yi was injured. In front of Lin Yi's villa, a deafening roar came. "Is this where that brat Lin Yi lives?" The voice was filled with disdain and contempt. Chen Tian and the others were shocked, and quickly walked out of the villa, only to see a middle-aged man in black standing in front of the villa with an arrogant face. His eyes were looking up at the sky, as if he was the only one in the world. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Chen Tian looked at the strength of the person in front of him. It was an Earth-class late-phase peak, but Chen Tian was with Lin Yi, and he had seen Sky-class masters before, so why would he be afraid of an Earth-class late-phase peak? "You are that brat Lin Yi?" The black-clothed man looked at Chen Tian and snorted. "Why are you looking for our boss?" Zhuang Niapeo didn't like the black-clothed man's attitude. Although he was an Earth-class late-phase peak, he had a group of Earth-class practitioners on his side. Plus, there was also the old man Pai, a Sky-class master. "Your boss? So, you are that brat Lin Yi's lackeys?" The black-clothed man looked at Zhuang Niapeo and the others in shock. He didn't expect Lin Yi to have so many lackeys. Chapter 2945. As he spoke, he mobilized the spiritual energy of heaven and earth around him, revealing his heavenly rank external practitioner strength. Sky class? So what? The man in black wasn't scared at all, but looked even more disdainful. "You're just a bunch of practitioners from a hidden house. You think you're so strong? What are you trying to do? Let's cut the crap." Old Pai's face didn't look too well. He was a Sky class, and being looked down upon by an Earth class naturally didn't make him happy. If it was someone like Lin Yi, then it'd be fine, but this was someone he'd never seen before. I'm not afraid to tell you that I'm from an ancient sect, the Dark Palace." The man in black said proudly, "I'm an elder and emissary of the Dark Palace. Why aren't you kneeling?" "Ancient sect?" Old Pai frowned. He'd heard of the Dark Palace before, and while it was one of the weakest ancient sects, it was still an ancient sect, and they still had some foundation. Naturally, Old Pai couldn't go against them. "As far as I know, ancient sects never interfere with the common world and hidden sections. Are you breaking the ancient rules by coming here?" Since Lin Yi joined the Sky Elixir Sect's test, he's not from the common world anymore. Plus, we're here for our Dark Palace's business. We're not here to interfere with the common world or the hidden plane. The man in black wasn't happy with what Old Pai said, but he couldn't just say that the Dark Palace ignored the ancient rules. "What do you want?" Old Pai said faintly. Can you represent Lin Yi? Get that kid out here right now." The man in black from the Dark Palace said coldly. "You're looking for me?" Lin Yi was pushed out of the villa by Meng Yao and Yushu. When Lin Yi heard that the man was from the Dark Palace, he got a headache. He didn't think that the Dark Palace would be so vengeful, coming to the common world to cause trouble for him. He was now a cripple. How was he going to deal with this? Although the opponent was only an Earth-class late-phase peak, and Old Pai could take care of him, but if Old Pai killed him and another Sky class came, or 2 or 3 Sky class masters, how would he deal with it? But Lin Yi thought too much. Even if the Dark Palace was shameless, they wouldn't dare to go against the ancient rules. The Dark Palace just took advantage of a loophole. If it involved the interests of the ancient sects and could be resolved peacefully, they would allow people of the ancient level to come to the mortal world to deal with private matters. But this elder's pretentiousness was completely his own. To him, he was just trying to scare Lin Yi. The other ancient sects wouldn't be able to see it anyway, and they wouldn't be able to say anything. His real goal was to force Lin Yi to hand over the level 3 Great Recovery Pill. "So you're Lin Yi's junior?" The black-clothed man looked at Lin Yi and was stunned. "How did you become a cripple? Did you do too many bad things and now you're being punished? If you have something to say, then say it." Lin Yi frowned. What was this black-clothed man doing here? Lin Yi wasn't sure. Logically speaking, he didn't kill the 2 disciples from the Dark Palace, so he basically had no grudges with them. Even if they wanted revenge, it should be the Everyday and Tomorrow sect that came after him. Why would it be the Dark Palace? During the trial, you stole 2 of my disciples' herbs. I heard that you gave them to you and your little brother. The black-clothed man said, Our grand elder orders you to return these 2 herbs immediately. Otherwise, it will be a provocation to the Dark Palace, a declaration of war. Lin Yi was confused by the black-clothed man's words. The herbs were all given to the Sky Elixir sect. If you want them, then go ask them. What are you doing here? You and your little brother stole our herbs in exchange for 2 level 3 great revitalizing pills. Don't think I don't know. The black-clothed man said, Since you don't have the spirit medicine for the trial, then give me the 3rd grade great cyclic pill that you exchanged for with the spirit medicine. Lin Yi finally understood why he was here. It was for the 3rd level Great Huan pill. After beating around the bush and saying so much, he just wanted to snatch the grade 3 great cyclic pill away. If Lin Yi wasn't injured, he would have slapped the guy away a long time ago. But now, even if he was facing an Earth-class late phase peak weaker than him, Lin Yi couldn't let his guard down. He had to be careful. What are you laughing at? Hurry up and hand over the loot, and I'll exempt you from your punishment. Otherwise, you're openly going against the Dark Palace. The black-clothed man laughed coldly. Openly going against the Dark Palace? Lin Yi thought it was funny. I think you guys are going against the Sky Elixir sect, aren't you? We made it clear during the trial that no matter what happens in the trial, it can't be brought out of the trial grounds. I think you guys are going against the Sky Elixir sect. What do you know, you brat? The black-clothed man frowned. Although Lin Yi was right, he was going against the rules of the Sky Elixir sect, but would the Sky Elixir sect pick a fight with the Dark Palace over a lone practitioner? Of course not. They were all from ancient sections. Although they didn't have a good relationship, they wouldn't fall out over such a small thing. Which ancient sect didn't have some dirty tricks up their sleeves? If everyone slapped each other in the face, then there wouldn't be any meaning to it. So as long as it was okay on the surface, it was fine. This was also why the Dark Palace dared to break the rules and come here. Even if the Sky Elixir sect knew, would they really stand up for Lin Yi or the Dark Palace? It was obvious which one was more useful to the Sky Elixir sect. We're just taking back what we deserve. This is an internal matter of our sect. What does it have to do with the Sky Elixir sect? The black-clothed man said confidently. What if I don't give it to you? Lin asked back. Don't give it to you? Then just wait for the revenge of the Dark Palace. Although you have a Sky-class master by your side, I don't believe that your Sky-class master would dare to attack me. The black-clothed man said confidently. Chapter 2946. What's more, Lin Yi didn't know how strong the Dark Night Palace was. If it was a big sect, then Lin Yi would have a headache. Based on the Man in Black style, all sects were like this. If Lin Yi provoked them, there would be endless trouble. My little brother is from the ancient Feng family and the Holy Fist Palace, and there's another called Guxian. He comes and goes without a trace. If you can find him, then go and ask for it. Lin Yi thought about it and said to the Man in Black, Junior Lin Yi, don't talk nonsense. Don't think that I don't know that you have a 3rd grade recover pill in your hands, and your little brother from the hidden Zhao family also has a 3rd grade recover pill. I want these 2 pills. Don't talk about the ancient Feng family and the Holy Fist Palace. The black-clothed man wasn't an idiot. He'd already heard about the situation from the 1st and 2nd disciples of the Dark Palace. The Dark Night Palace dared to ask Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan for the pill, but they didn't dare to ask the Holy Fist Palace and the ancient Feng family. Wasn't that looking for death? As for Guxian, he was also from the ancient level, and he was a rogue cultivator who sold information. This kind of rogue cultivator, the Dark Night Palace didn't dare to provoke him. If he slanted his mouth, everyone in the ancient level would know what the Dark Night Palace did. That would be embarrassing. Zhao Qikuan is no longer my little brother. My injury was caused by the hidden Zhao family. If you want to find him, go to the hidden Zhao family. I can't do anything about it. Lin Yi said lightly. What? The Man in Black was stunned. Really? You're not fooling me, are you? Why would I be fooling you? Lin Yi shook his head and said, As for my 3rd level recover pill, I've already eaten it, but it doesn't seem to have any effect because my elixir field is broken. You've eaten it? Your elixir field is broken? The black-clothed man was a little dizzy. He didn't expect that his request for the recover pill would be so unsuccessful. He thought that by scaring Lin Yi, he would be able to give it to him. It's not a secret. You can find out the truth about me being injured by the hidden Zhao family. I was injured, but I didn't eat the recover pill. Why did I keep it? Lin Yi asked. Your dantian is broken. Why are you still eating the recover pill? Isn't that a waste? The man in black said hatefully, What a waste. Think what you want. If you want a grand restore pill, I already told you to ask Feng Shipian, Li Siba and Gu Xian. I don't have any left, said Lin. Just you wait, I'll report this to the Grand Elder and see how she punishes you. When the man in black heard Lin Yi say so, he didn't say much. He waved his hand and turned to leave. He left just like that? Chen Tian paused, thinking that the black-clothed man was really gullible. He left just like that after Lin Yi said so? I'm afraid I'll have to come back. Lin Yi sighed. I've dealt with it for now, but it seems like the Dark Palace won't let this go easily. After the black-clothed elder of the Dark Palace left, he returned to the hotel he was temporarily staying at and called the Grand Elder. It's Elder Black. How did it go? Lin Yi, that brat returned the pill to us, right? From the Grand Elder's perspective, this was an extremely easy thing to do. Lin Yi heard about the ancient sects, so why wouldn't he return the pill? After all, this was different from the trials. One's background was the deciding factor, not one's personal strength. No, Grand Elder, there's something wrong. The black-clothed elder said. What? That Lin Yi kid doesn't want to give it to you? The Grand Elder's tone changed, getting a little angry. It's not that he doesn't want to, it's like this. The black-clothed elder quickly told the Grand Elder about Lin Yi's fight with the hidden house Zhao and how he got injured. After the Great Elder heard this, he was very surprised. Is this true? He's telling the truth? This should be true. After all, we just need to ask around. The black-clothed elder said helplessly, Now that Lin Yi doesn't have the pill, what should I do? I can't just kill him, can I? We won't go so far as to kill him, he's just an ant, but we're an ancient sect. Killing people without cause or effect will give us a reason to do so. You can scare him a little, use that Chu Mingyao girl as a hostage, and get him to get the pill back from Gu Xian. Otherwise, beat that Chu Mingyao until she's crippled, see if he'll give it back. If he doesn't, then I'll beat up her father Pengzhan until he's crippled. I don't believe that Lin Yi won't give it back. As for Zhao Qikuan, he's just a hidden house. You go there yourself, they won't dare refuse. The Grand Elder said after some thought. Then I'll go find Lin Yi tomorrow. The black-clothed elder's mouth twitched. He vaguely knew who Meng Yao was. It wasn't a secret in the Palace of Darkness, and anyone with a bit of status would know about it. But since the Grand Elder insisted, the black-clothed elder had no choice but to agree. He wasn't elderly, he didn't have any feelings for Meng Yao, and Pengzhan was even more so. After hanging up, the black-clothed elder decided to go to the hidden house Zhao and get the pill back, as well as find out more about what Lin Yi said. The hidden house Zhao was also in Donghai, and while it wasn't that close to Lin Yi's villa, it didn't take long for the black-clothed elder, an Earth-class late-phase peak. To get there wasn't much time. After a while, he arrived at the entrance of the hidden house Zhao's villa. Who's there? This is private property. If there's nothing else, please go back. The guard disciple's words were tactful. After all, there were regular people who came in here by mistake, and they couldn't just treat them like that. This is the hidden house Zhao? The black-clothed elder looked at the disciple and asked. Oh, you know about the hidden house Zhao? Or you? What business do you have here? The disciple's face froze as he asked. Get your manager out, tell him that there's an important guest. The black-clothed elder said arrogantly. Important guest? The disciple's face changed. Are you here to cause trouble? Just say who you want to see, don't go looking for trouble, this isn't a place for you to do as you please. What? You're not going to report it? The black-clothed elder said as he revealed his Earth-class late-phase peak strength. Earth-class late-phase peak? The disciple was shocked. While there was a Sky-class early phase in the house, an Earth-class late-phase peak was still a rare sight. He didn't dare delay. Then please wait. Chapter 2947. The guard told Elder Mian that there was an Earth-class late-phase peak at their doorstep, and Elder Mian informed Old Zhao immediately. Not long after, Old Zhao came out with Zhao Qibing. They didn't dare to be careless, wondering if they were here to get revenge for Lin. But that couldn't be. Lin Yi knew that he was a Sky class, so why would he bring an Earth-class late-phase peak? Was he trying to get himself killed? They quickly came to the door, and Old Zhao saw the black-clothed man. He didn't know him at all, and couldn't help but ask, "May I ask what brings you here?" "You're the steward of the hidden house, Zhao?" The black-clothed elder looked at Old Zhao and asked. "Yes, I am the head of the hidden house, Zhao, and you are?" Old Zhao frowned. It didn't seem like he was here to get revenge for Lin Yi, so what was he here for? Long story short, Lin Yi has a follower called Zhao Qikuan, right? The black-clothed elder asked. "He's a disciple of the hidden house Zhao, right?" "Yes." Old Zhao hesitated, but nodded. After all, there was no way to hide this. Whether or not Zhao Qikuan was from the hidden house was something that could be easily found out. But now he was troubled. Was it because of Lin Yi? Lin Yi and his followers stole our disciples' medicine during the Sky Elixir test, and our Grand Elder is furious. He sent me here to tell you to hand over the medicine for the 3rd-level Great Recovery Pill, and we'll let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, the black-clothed elder threatened. "What? Lin Yi and Zhao Qikuan's medicine was stolen from your palace?" Old Zhao froze. He knew about the Dark Knight Palace, an ancient sect. Although he didn't participate in the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial, he knew that there was no status or background in the trial. What happened inside was up to fate. Who would settle scores after the trial? What was going on with the Palace of Darkness? That's right. Hurry up and hand over the 3rd-grade Great Recover Pill. I guarantee that you'll be fine. The black-clothed elder impatiently urged. Old Zhao and Qibing looked at each other. They didn't know why these people from the Dark Palace would break the rules and ask for the pill, but Qikuan had already given the pill to Old Zhao, so naturally he wouldn't hand it over. Qikuan had given up the pill in exchange for the position of young master, and now that he no longer had that position, Old Zhao pretended like he didn't know and kept the pill for himself. Lin Yi doesn't only have Zhao Qikuan, and Lin Yi has a 3rd-level recovery pill too. You can ask Lin Yi for it. Qibing encouraged. Lin Yi was injured by you guys and he ate a Great Recover Pill. It's a waste. If I could ask him for it, I wouldn't need your bullshit. Don't say that. If you don't want to suffer, then quickly hand over the Recover Pill. Otherwise, I'll get impatient and break your dog legs. When the elder in black saw that the hidden Zhao family's people were so uncooperative, he immediately became angry. Break my legs? Then I won't hand it over. Fight me if you dare. Qibing's eyes lit up as he spoke with determination. You think I won't fight you? The black-clothed elder was furious as well. He kicked at Qikuan's legs. 1,000 legs, 3rd form. Qibing's legs were broken, but he stared at the elder in front of him with his mouth agape. It wasn't because of anything else, but because the elder's technique was also called 1,000 kicks. Qibing knelt on the ground, but he had forgotten the pain. His eyes were shining with anticipation. Master, please accept this bow from your disciple. The black-clothed elder froze. Was there something wrong with this Qibing? His legs were broken, and he was kneeling on the ground. Why was he suddenly asking to be his master? I broke your leg, not your head. Is there something wrong with you? Who's your master? Master, I won't hide it from you. I've been practicing 1,000 legs, and that's why I asked you to break my legs. I've been trying to figure it out on my own, and now that I've seen you, I naturally kneel before you. Qibing wasn't an idiot. He knew that this was an opportunity. Kong Mingming of House Kong had become the 8th elder of Sky Elixir. What kind of opportunity was this? Pin Liang was able to become a disciple of the Day and Everyday sect, and he, Qibing, had a higher starting point than them, but he had always been a nobody. Now that he had this opportunity, how could he let it go? Although Qibing didn't know how big the Dark Palace was, it was still an ancient sect. With an ancient sect as their backing, would House Zhao still be the same House Zhao from before? Elder He Yi didn't listen to Qibing's nonsensical flattery. He was surprised to hear that Qibing had broken his leg in order to practice 1,000 kicks. He couldn't help but ask, "Did you break your leg before you became a practitioner, or after you became one?" "I broke them before and I broke them after." Qibing wanted to answer according to the black-clothed elder, but he wasn't sure what answer the elder wanted. He could only answer truthfully. "So, before you became a cultivator, you also broke your legs? Did you break both your legs?" The black-clothed elder quickly asked. "Yes, both legs were broken." Qibing didn't know what was going on, but he still nodded. "Don't move, let me check." The black-clothed elder immediately bent down and checked Qibing's legs, and a look of surprise appeared on his face. He kept saying, not bad, Master, you've decided to take me in as your disciple?" Qibing was surprised and happy when the black-clothed elder praised him, and he quickly asked, "That?" The black-clothed elder hesitated. "I'll have to ask the grand elder first, I can't give you an answer right now." Although the black-clothed elder thought that Qibing was a good seedling and really wanted to take him in as his direct disciple, the Grand Elder was very domineering in the Dark Palace, and his words carried enormous weight. If he wanted to take in a disciple, he had to get the Grand Elder's approval first. Chapter 2948. Before becoming a cultivator, it was possible to completely recover a broken leg, but after recovering, it was rare to be able to cultivate, and it had to be a cultivator with the metal attribute, and it was even rarer to be able to cultivate to the earth rank. Especially for an ancient sect like the Dark Palace that lacked resources and disciples, it was a difficult thing for the black-clothed elder to find a successor. Suddenly seeing Zhao Qibing, naturally he was tempted. Of course, whether or not he could accept a disciple still depended on the Supreme Elder's opinion. "Master, I'll take the third-level Great Huan pill as a gift for you, Master." Qibing quickly said, "Okay, I'll ask for you." The black-clothed elder's tone and expression were much friendlier. He waved his hand at Zhao Qibing, signaling him to calm down, and walked to the side to make a call. Elder Zhao, on the other hand, gave Zhao Qibing a thumbs up in admiration. Now that House Zhao had a disciple from an ancient sect like Zhao Qibing, it was impossible for them not to prosper. To be able to get a level 3 recover pill without any effort, and also get a proud disciple, it was a good deal no matter how you looked at it. But the great elder of the Palace of Darkness was arbitrary, so the black-clothed elder had to ask for permission. However, this time, the Supreme Elder did not interfere too much and directly nodded in agreement, allowing the black-clothed elder to heave a sigh of relief. "Of course, I can take you as a disciple. Come with me to the Dark Palace in a few days. Tomorrow morning, I need to go to Lin Yi's house again. Do you want to come?" The black-clothed elder asked. "Yes, of course I'll go. I'll go wherever Master goes." Qibing quickly said, "And all right. If that's the case, I'll stay at your hidden house for the night. Tomorrow morning, you and I will go find Lin Yi and ask for the elixir." The black-clothed elder nodded, satisfied with Qibing's answer. Late at night, Heavenly Elixir Sect. Inside the silkworm transformation room, Little Peach had already fallen asleep. As for Tian Chan, she was sitting in her seat, cultivating as usual. Suddenly, the window moved. It was a very small sound. If one didn't listen carefully, they wouldn't have noticed it. "Come in." Tian Chan opened her eyes and said lightly. In the next moment, a black-robed figure floated into Tian Chan's room. It was a masked woman dressed in night clothes. However, her body did not emit any aura at all. It was as if she was a dead person. If she hadn't purposely made some noise, Tian Chan probably wouldn't have noticed her arrival. She had hidden her strength to an extent that was difficult for others to detect. "Tian Dai greets young lady." The black-clothed woman respectfully knelt at the feet of Tian Chan, but her voice was cold and unfeeling. "Little Dai, why did you come back so suddenly? Is there something important?" Tian Chan was a little puzzled. Why did Tian Dai come back at this time? Although Tian Dai's strength was the same as hers, at the peak of the late phase of heaven class, when she suppressed her strength, even the Xiantian ancestor wouldn't be able to detect her. However, in order to keep it a secret, Tian Chan rarely summoned Tian Dai. Tian Dai was an orphan that Tian Chan saved when she was young. Before Tian Chan became the young master of Heavenly Elixir Sect at the age of 8, she had always been Tian Chan's maid. However, she cultivated together with Tian-chan and improved together. The two of them shared the same resources and their cultivation speed was about the same. However, the secret that Tian-dai was also a cultivator was not known in the Heavenly Elixir School. Not even Tian-ji-xing, Tian-di, and Ren-ren knew about it. This was one of Tian-chan's secret trump cards. After taking over the position of Heavenly Elixir School's young master at the age of 8, Tian-dai died due to an accident. The person who replaced her was Little Peach, a normal girl. Tian-dai was actually not dead. Instead, she had been secretly hidden away by Tian-chan. Tian-dai had always viewed Tian-chan as her idol. Tian-chan's unswerving determination and callousness since she was young, and her swift and decisive actions after becoming the young sect master had subtly influenced Tian-dai. Towards Tian-chan's almost paranoid worship, Tian-dai also tried to imitate Tian-chan's character as much as possible. However, she only learned Tian-chan's cold and indifferent appearance. Tian-chan became the young master of Heavenly Elixir sect with the identity of a woman. Every day, she didn't do it for herself. Only Tian-chan knew the hardships involved. However, Tian-dai didn't understand these things. Since young, she liked to imitate Tian-chan. She was like what Tian-chan was like. She liked to be Tian-chan's shadow. All these years, she had been secretly cultivating a new force that was different from Heavenly Elixir sect. Not only was she a trump card of Tian-chan, but she was also Tian-chan's eyes and ears outside. Although Tian-dai found it strange that Tian-chan suddenly wanted her to pay attention to a man called Lin-yi, she still carried out Tian-chan's orders without reservation. Even if she had doubts, she would still complete it seriously. Miss Lin-yi attended the Hidden House Zhao's banquet and was set up by them. After being poisoned, he became a cripple. His meridians and dantian were destroyed. Tian-dai narrated the events of the past few days expressionlessly. What? Hidden House Zhao set up Lin-yi? Tian-chan's eyes widened in disbelief. Wasn't Zhao Qikuan Lin-yi's follower? In Heavenly Elixir Sect's Inn, Tian-chan had seen him before. He didn't look like the type of person who would betray others. Why did he set up Lin-yi? However, she didn't have time to ask the reason. Tian-chan asked subconsciously, then why didn't you save him? Save him? Tian-dai paused. Miss, didn't you tell me to help when Lin-yi's life was in danger? Although he's injured now, his life isn't in danger. Tian-chan was speechless. Tian-dai was too obedient. She did whatever she was told. Couldn't she be flexible? However, Tian-chan couldn't say much. She could only say, what happened next? Then, when Lin-yi returned home, people from the Dark Palace came looking for trouble. With that, Tian-dai told Tian-chan about what happened. Tian-chan fell into deep thought after hearing it. She frowned. The Dark Palace is too daring. How dare they question the results of our Heavenly Elixir Sex test? Yes, that's why I came back in a hurry. Tian-dai said. Chapter 2949. Yes, young lady. Tian-dai carried out Tian-chan's orders unconditionally. Although she had some doubts in her heart as to why Tian-chan didn't personally handle it, it was reasonable to say that this was a matter within the Heavenly Elixir Sect's responsibility, and there was no need to hide it. Moreover, Tian-chan hid for a day and let Tian-dai handle it. It wasn't to hide it, but to let the people of the Heavenly Elixir Sect know that Tian-chan went out to handle this matter. Then why did Tian-chan do this? Tian-dai couldn't figure it out. After you come back, tell me the details of Lin-yi's situation. Tian-chan waved her hand, indicating that Tian-dai could leave. As for Lin-yi's injury, Tian-chan wasn't too worried. After all, Lin-yi's recovery speed was witnessed by Tian-chan with her own eyes. Tian-dai retreated, and Tian-chan's face blushed. She sighed slightly and murmured, "It would be great if life could only be like the first time we met. Now, it's better to reminisce than to meet." The elder in black left, but Lin-yi couldn't calm down. He hesitated for a moment and took out his phone. He wanted to call Tian-chan, but when the call went through, Lin-yi quickly hung up. The fate between him and Tian-chan might end with the end of the Heavenly Elixir Sect's trial. After all, the two of them were on opposite sides. Lin-yi couldn't contact her too frequently. Patriarch Xianxun was obviously not a good person. If he knew that he was in contact with Tian-chan, he was afraid that it would implicate Tian-chan. And so, in the end, Lin Yi still called Gu Xian's number. Boss Lin. Gu Xian received Lin Yi's call and seemed very excited. Boss Lin, you and Chitan went back smoothly, right? I miss you guys. When I'm not busy for a while, I'll go visit you guys. Gu Xian, let's not talk about this. Let me ask you, how strong is the Dark Palace? Lin Yi interrupted Gu Xian and asked directly. The Palace of Darkness. Boss, why are you suddenly asking about that? Gu Xian paused, but still answered honestly. The Dark Palace is an ancient sect, the same as Feng Shipian's ancient Feng family. They are both weak ancient powers, but even so, they still have a lot of resources, and they have sky-class peak late-phase masters. Is that so? Lin Yi nodded. Let alone being injured, even if he wasn't, he still wouldn't be able to contend against a peak heaven-rank powerhouse. It looked like the ancient realm was a lot more powerful than the hidden realm. Then, can the ancient realm do whatever they want in the secular world? This definitely won't do. Gu Xian denied right away. But if it's a personal matter and it doesn't involve killing, then they can leave the mountain to deal with it. There's no hard and fast rule. What, boss, did something happen between you and the Dark Palace? Something unpleasant happened. Lin Yi didn't mention his injury and only told Gu Xian about the Dark Palace coming to ask for the recover pill. This Palace of Darkness is too shameless. How could they do something like this? Gu Xian was shocked. This is a bit of a taboo. The Sky Elixir sect's trial results are decided by them. If they find out that the Dark Palace changed the results like this, they won't just sit by and watch. The point is, will the Sky Elixir sect notice such a small thing? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Plus, we're both ancient sects, so they should at least have some face, right? They wouldn't fall out because of a solo practitioner like me, right? That's true, but the relationship between the Dark Palace and the Sky Elixir sect isn't that good. Gu Xian said, but if they threaten to hurt you, then there's really nothing we can do about it. If it really doesn't work, I'll give my recover pill to you, boss. We got the benefits from this. If it wasn't for us, the Palace of Darkness wouldn't have come looking for trouble with you. No need, I have one. If it really doesn't work, I'll just give it to them and say it's yours. I'll think of something in the future. Lin Yi said. Gu Xian didn't think much about it. He didn't know that Lin Yi was injured and thought that Lin Yi compromised because he didn't want to mess with the ancient sections. After all, this was different from the trial. During the trial, one didn't have to worry about their background. But when they returned to the real world, they couldn't. Although the Dark Palace was weak, they still had people at the peak of the late phase of Sky Class. After hanging up, Lin Yi went to bed early. He didn't have to train at night, so he was extra free. As for old Lin Yi didn't call him. Lin Yi didn't know what the poison was and what it was made of. Calling old Lin would only cause him more trouble. The next morning, Lin Yi wanted to have a rare good sleep, but he didn't expect that just as the sky brightened, the black-clothed elder's voice came from outside the villa. Lin Yi, kid, come out now. The black-clothed elder roared. Lin Yi frowned. He really was a ghost. After leaving yesterday, he came back early in the morning. It seemed like his excuse didn't matter at all. Chen Tian and the others were woken up as well. Lin Yi was pushed out of the villa by Chen Tian, but the person outside made Lin Yi freeze. What he didn't expect was that beside the black-clothed elder, there was someone that Lin Yi was very familiar with. It was Zhao Qibing. Zhao Qibing? What are you doing here? Chen Tian saw Zhao Qibing and shouted. Hee, you guys didn't expect this, did you? The black-clothed elder of the Dark Palace has taken me in as a disciple. I'm a disciple of the Dark Palace now. Lin Yi, do you really want to kill me? Do you want to wait until you recover and destroy our hidden house Zhao? Zhao Qibing looked at Lin Yi proudly. Not now, right? I'm a disciple of an ancient sect, under the protection of the Dark Palace. Let's see if you still dare to touch me? Lin Yi laughed coldly, but didn't say anything. The Dark Palace now seemed stronger than Lin Yi, but one day, when Lin Yi recovered and could instantly kill a Sky-class late-phase peak master, the Dark Palace wouldn't be worth mentioning in Lin Yi's eyes anymore. So, there was no use in saying anything now. Let Zhao Qibing be happy for now. One day, he'll settle the score slowly. Oh, so you're here to tell me this? Lin Yi asked, his tone neutral. Chapter 2950. With that, he didn't wait for Lin Yi to reply and continued, or else, I'm not afraid to tell you that my master came from an ancient sect. It's not convenient for him to kill people, but it's convenient for me. I've always hated Meng Yao and Yushu. Let's see if the hidden house you dares to stick their noses into the ancient sect's business. Qibing smiled coldly. Besides, don't think that I'll still attack you just because you have a sky class with you. If you do, you'll be provoking the entire Palace of Darkness. At that time, the Palace of Darkness will have a reason to kill all of you. Even the other ancient sects won't stop the Palace of Darkness from taking revenge. Qibing's words were vicious. If Lin Yi didn't agree, he'd attack Meng Yao and Yushu. He even threatened Lin Yi's people not to fight back. If they did, they'd be provoking the ancient sect, and the Palace of Darkness would come to destroy them. If Lin Yi wasn't injured, he wouldn't have to suffer like this even if he wasn't as strong as the Palace of Darkness. But now he had to lower his head. Lin Yi couldn't do anything to this shameless method. At this time, Meng Yao and Yushu walked out of the villa. Their faces changed slightly when they heard Qibing's words. It wasn't obvious, but Lin Yi's sharp senses picked up on it. Yushu was the type of person who wanted to see the world in chaos, but today she was unusually quiet. She didn't refute Qibing's words, but stood behind Lin Yi quietly, waiting for Lin Yi's decision. Yui was afraid that Qibing and the others would return, so he walked around Lin Yi's house and saw this headache-inducing scene. Before, when the Palace of Darkness came to ask for pills from Lin Yi, Yui didn't think much of it. But today, he realized that Elder Black-Clothed and Qibing were in cahoots. Under these circumstances, Yui didn't dare to step up, especially when Qibing said that House Yu wouldn't meddle in other people's business. This made him hesitate even more. House Yu had a background, but they were still a hidden sect. It wasn't realistic to go against the ancient sect. Lin Yi, what do you think? Speechless now, right? If you know what's good for you, hand over the pill or I'll do it. Qibing waved his hand and threatened Lin Yi. I'll destroy Meng Yao's face first, then I'll break Yushu's legs. I hate this big Yushu the most, so after I break her legs, I'll smash her boobs and let them dangle in front of me. It's annoying. Lin Yi frowned. There was nothing Lin Yi could do about Qibing's vulgar words. Just when Lin Yi was about to nod and agree, a cold voice sounded behind Qibing and the black-clothed man. An ancient sect actually came to the common world to cause trouble. Who gave you the courage to do this? Elder Black-Clothed was shocked, and so was Lin Yi, because they didn't realize that there was another person nearby. Even Yui, who was hiding not far away, changed his expression. He didn't know when this person appeared. Even he, a sky-class master, didn't notice him. But in the next moment, Yui understood, because the owner of the voice didn't hide his strength. Who was a sky-class master at the peak of the late phase. For you. Elder Black-Clothed's expression changed as well. Yui could sense the person's strength, and Elder Black-Clothed was no exception. A sky-class master at the peak of the late phase, in the ancient sects, would be like the sect master, Grand Elder, or Grand Elder. Why would he appear here all of a sudden? I'm just a passerby. This was a gentleman in white with an elegant demeanor. He was holding a paper fan in his hand. Although he looked very carefree, his voice carried an unapproachable tone. I'm Elder Black-Clothed of the Dark Palace, under the orders of the Grand Elder, to recover the stolen goods that Lin Yi stole. I don't care who you are, but please don't interfere with the rights of the Dark Palace. Elder Black-Clothed spoke fiercely. After all, this person was a top master in the cultivation world. Stolen goods? How come I didn't know it was stolen goods? The young master in white looked at Elder Black-Clothed and asked coldly, What do you know? This is an internal matter of the Dark Palace. Although you're a sky-class master at the peak of the late phase, we don't have to report it to you, right? Elder Black-Clothed braced himself and said, I don't care about other things, but this involves the interests of my sect. I, the Sky Silkworm transformation, have to take care of it. The young master in white closed his paper fan and looked at Elder Black-Clothed coldly. Your sect? What are you? What? You said you're the Sky Silkworm transformation? Elder Black-Clothed suddenly realized and looked at the young master in white in shock. You said you're the young master of the Sky Elixir sect? That's right, the reward of the Sky Elixir sect's trial is issued by the Sky Elixir sect. How can the Dark Palace tell us what to do? The young master in white was, of course, Tian Dai. She rushed back overnight and didn't expect to see this. She immediately stepped out to stop it. Elder Black-Clothed looked at the young master in white, his eyes filled with hesitation and unwillingness. He didn't believe that the Sky Silkworm transformation would personally take care of this. This wasn't a big deal at all. He thought that maybe this was one of Lin Yi's lackeys pretending to be him, but his strength wasn't fake either. However, Elder Black-Clothed still asked, as far as I know, young Master Tian is very busy every day. How would he have the time to take care of such a small matter? How can you prove your identity? Isn't this enough? Tian Dai casually tossed a token towards the black-clothed elder. The black-clothed elder took it in his hand and looked at it. His eyes froze. This was indeed the token of the head, young head and elders of the ancient sects. The tokens were made by all the ancient sects after discussion. Naturally, the black-clothed elder recognized it. Even he himself had a token of the Dark Palace's elder. This was for the convenience of the ancient sects when they went out to do things. It was to prevent the flood from rushing into the Dragon King's temple and not recognizing one family member. Thus, Elder Black-Clothed didn't doubt it anymore. Although he was unwilling, he still respectfully returned the token to Tian Dai and cupped his fists. Elder Black-Clothed of the Dark Palace greets young Master Tian. Since young Master Tian has intervened, I'll leave first. Chapter 2951. Wait, who said you could leave? Tian Dai's tone was cold as she blocked the elder and Qibing's path. Young Master Tian, since you're interfering, can't we leave? Why are you stopping us? The black-robed elder frowned. Could it be that the heavenly silkworm transformation still wanted to pursue the matter? Kneel down and apologize to him. Tian Dai pointed at Lin Yi and said coldly to the elder. After hearing Tian Dai's words, the black-clothed elder's face suddenly turned red. He never thought that the heavenly silkworm transformation would make him kneel to a rogue cultivator. What kind of humiliation was this? Didn't you hear me? Tian Dai frowned. She'd been imitating Tian Chan all this time. Tian Chan's silkworm transformation in Sky Elixir sect had always been cold and ruthless. This was the image that the outside world recognized, but Tian Dai didn't know that Tian Chan had a soft side too. Young Master Tian, don't go too far. We, the Dark Palace, are in the wrong for interfering with the prize of the Sky Elixir sect's test, but we're all from the ancient times, we'll see each other all the time. You want me to kneel to a junior freelancer? Did I hear that right? The elder said angrily, we, the Dark Palace, are not pushovers. Kneel, Tian Dai only said 2 words. Zhao Qibing, let's go. Let's see what he can do. The elder waved his sleeves and was about to pull Qibing away forcefully. As far as he was concerned, even a Sky-class late-phase peak master wouldn't attack silkworm transformation for no reason. The black-clothed elder didn't even see how the silkworm transformation was used before Qibing's arm fell off. If you don't kneel, I don't mind helping you with your broken legs. Tian Dai said faintly, I heard that your training is called 1,000 legs? Using a broken leg to cultivate? However, I might break it more thoroughly and directly cut off both of your legs. After that, I wonder if you can still cultivate 1,000 legs? With that, Tian Dai pointed her finger, and a fireball shot out from her hand, landing on Qibing's severed arm on the ground, turning it into ashes immediately. My arm. Zhao Qibing looked at his arm that had turned into ashes. His eyes rolled back and he fell to the ground. He had been fantasizing about bringing his arm back to the hospital to reattach it, but now his arm had turned to ashes. What the hell was he supposed to do? In the future, he would be a crippled one-armed man. How could Zhao Qibing not faint at the thought? Although he was an expert in leg techniques, as a cultivator, losing an arm was a fatal injury. Cold sweat dripped down from the black-clothed elder's forehead. The rumors were indeed correct. The heavenly silkworm transformation was a tyrannical and ruthless person. Although he looked like an elegant young master, the rumors of him using beauties as cultivation furnaces were most likely true. From his methods, it could be seen that he was a vicious and merciless person. What kind of fire is this? How can it have such high temperature? Is this refinement fire? The elder asked in shock, but he was confused. No, this shouldn't be refinement fire. How can refinement fire be so powerful? At this time, Lin Yi looked at the handsome young man in front of him in shock. He almost blurted out, "Forging fire." This beautiful young man in white was actually using the forging fire. The forging fire can actually be used as a martial skill? How could it have such high temperature? It could even burn a cultivator's body to ashes? However, although Lin Yi was confused, he couldn't say it out loud. The sudden appearance of silkworm transformation made Lin Yi very puzzled, even more puzzled than Yui's appearance yesterday. It was understandable that Yui was related to Yuning, but what about silkworm transformation? Lin Yi believed that silkworm transformation was here because of his relationship with Kang Ming Ming, but it was a bit unrealistic that silkworm transformation was here to help him. Could it be that silkworm transformation said that he was here to protect the fairness of the Sky Elixir sex trial? This was a bit unbelievable, wasn't it? Looking at silkworm transformation in front of him, he seemed to have seen him before, but he didn't seem to have seen him at all. Lin Yi racked his brain to think if he had met this handsome young man before. However, Lin Yi was disappointed to find that there was no such person in his memory. As familiar as it was, Lin Yi really didn't know who silkworm transformation was. He couldn't be blamed, however, since Tian Chan was a girl in male attire. Tian Chan looked similar to Tian Chan, and even more so in male attire, but they were two different people after all. It was normal that Lin Yi couldn't recognize Tian Chan after so many transformations. "You want to try?" Tian Dai asked coldly. "No, I don't want to." The elder stuttered, his face pale. Zhao Qibing was an Earth class early phase, and though he was an Earth class late phase peak, in front of silkworm transformation, he was nothing more than a piece of cake. The problem was that silkworm change seemed to be in the right this time, but the problem was that they were strong. Even if the other ancient sects knew that silkworm change was making a big deal out of nothing, no one dared to say anything. This was a super ancient sect. Who would be willing to stand up for a weak dark palace? "That depends on your performance," Tiandai said. The black-clothed elder's face turned from white to red, but in the end he still endured the mental struggle and knelt on the ground with a plop. He said to Tian Kan, "Young sect master Tian, please forgive me. I came here on the orders of the Grand Supreme Elder. I was wrong. I don't dare to interfere with the Heavenly Elixir sect anymore. It's not me, it's him." Tian Dai pointed at Lin. She didn't have any other reaction towards the elder's actions. "Lin Yi, young Master Lin, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Please say something." The elder knew that this wouldn't end if Lin Yi didn't say anything. He didn't know why silkworm transformation had to ask for Lin Yi's opinion, but he had to do it no matter what. Chapter 2952. Yes, yes, yes. Elder He nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Everyone else looked on curiously at this dramatic scene, especially Old Pai and the others. They didn't know why Silkworm was doing this. If it was for the fairness of the Sky Elixir School, then they could have just punished Elder He. There was no need to ask or care about Lin Yi's feelings. But now, it seemed like Lin Yi was the main character? Could it be that the Sky Elixir School was purposely showing that they were the participants? So that more trial takers would trust them and participate in the next Heavenly Elixir trial? "Since Lin Yi has forgiven you, then I'll let it go this time," Tian Dai warned. "Don't do it again." "Yes, young Master Tun, don't worry." Elder Black-Clothed quickly promised as he pulled Qibing up from the ground. Qibing was missing an arm, but as long as he had a leg, it wouldn't affect his 1,000 legs training. "Young Master Tian, I'll be leaving now." "Wait." Tian Dai once again spat out 2 words that caused the black-clothed elder's heart to palpitate. "Young Master Tian, is there anything else?" Elder He asked carefully. "You're fine, but he's not. He hasn't kneeled yet." Tian Dai said. "He's just my disciple, he has nothing to do with this, right? Besides, he's already fainted." Elder He said helplessly. "Earlier, weren't the two of you together? Tian Dai asked instead. Alright. Elder He had no choice but to slap the back of Qibing's neck, waking him up. But, Master, save me. Qibing cried out in fear as soon as he woke up. Stop yelling, kneel down and apologize to Lin Yi, and then I'll take you away. Elder He didn't want to stay in this embarrassing place any longer. Although the people from the Palace of Darkness were good at changing the direction of the wind and being shameless, it still didn't look good. Ah! Qibing froze as he looked at the elder in confusion. Kneel to Lin Yi? To him? We're from an ancient sect. I'm already kneeling, why aren't you kneeling? Why are you talking so much nonsense? The black-clothed elder said angrily, Hurry up. Zhao Qibing was a little confused, but when he noticed Tiandie's cold gaze, he shivered in fear. Although he was unwilling, he still knelt in front of Lin. This humiliation made Zhao Qibing want to die. But he was already a disciple of an ancient sect. Why did he have to kneel down to Lin Yi, a freelancer who had lost to the hidden house Zhao? This contrast was driving him crazy. In the morning, he'd come to Lin Yi's place in high spirits, thinking that he'd be able to turn Yushu into Miss Cripple in front of Lin. Who would have thought that he'd become a one-armed cripple instead? I'm sorry, I was wrong. Qibing almost cried. Although he admitted defeat in front of Lin Yi before, things were different now. At that time, Lin Yi was strong, and he was just a weakling. But now, he was a master, and Lin Yi was an injured person, but he still knelt, still had to apologize. This was too much. He looked at the arrogant Zhao Qibing kneeling in front of him, and then at the green face of the black-clothed elder who didn't dare say anything, and then at the indifferent face of the silkworm transformation, as if he didn't care about anything at all. Lin Yi finally understood one thing. If he wanted to make his voice heard in the world of the strong, he had to be stronger. Having a strong backing was the biggest source of confidence for Sky Silkworm transformation. Although the Dark Palace also had heaven-class late-phase peak masters, they definitely didn't have as many as Sky Elixir Sect. This was why Sky Silkworm transformation dared to point fingers in front of the black-clothed elder. No matter how strong he was, no matter how strong he was, no matter how strong he was, he couldn't do it without a strong force. If his followers were all Sky-class masters and formed a force comparable to the ancient sects, would Dark Palace still dare to act like this? Of course, even if Lin Yi understood this, it wouldn't help right now. Compared to the ancient sects, Lin Yi lacked a strong foundation. If Lin Yi didn't increase his own strength, he wouldn't be able to increase his followers' strength. This was a classic example of a man ascending to the heavens, unlike the ancient sects who had many talents and many ways to increase their strength. With that thought, Lin Yi knew that he was being too impatient, stepping into the ancient level too early. He was only in Earth-class late phase, and although he could kill Sky-class mid-phase, that was still Earth-class late phase. If he was Sky-class and knew how to concoct Chi-gathering pill, then his followers would be Sky-class early phase as well. Would Dark Palace still dare to act like this then? The thrill from fighting higher levels, it made Lin Yi lose himself, ignoring the restriction of his strength level. It made Lin Yi feel that as long as he could kill higher-leveled enemies, his level didn't matter. But that wasn't the case. Increasing one's true strength was the way to go. Young Master Tian, is this okay now? The black-clothed elder waited for Qibing to apologize before asking. Hand over the pills in your hands to Lin Yi, it's an apology. Then you can leave. Tian Dai said. What? Our Chi-gathering pill? Why do we have to hand it over? The black-clothed elder was completely hysterical, silkworm transformation was pressuring him and he finally exploded. We've already apologized, why do we have to hand over our own things? Don't you Sky Elixir sect want to maintain fairness? That belongs to us, why do we have to hand it over? You made a mistake, and if it's just an apology, then I'll kill you and apologize to Dark Palace, okay? Tian Dai said expressionlessly, you can refuse, but there's no more Chi-gathering pill. This is my decision, not a single third-level pill. What? There's no more Chi-gathering pill? The black-clothed elder's expression calmed down. The Chi-gathering pill was for one or to increase her strength. How could there be no more? If there was no more, the Grand Elder would kill him when he returned. With that thought, The black-clothed elder had no choice but to take out a small box from his pocket and throw it in Lin Yi's direction. "All right. We'll give you the Great Recovery Pill." Chapter 2953. If that's the case, you can leave now. Tian Dai waved her hand at the black-clothed elder, indicating that he could leave. "Let's go." The elder gritted his teeth and pulled Qibing, leaving this sad place with him. What did it mean to lose two birds with one stone? If Elder Hei Yi hadn't been greedy and returned to the Dark Palace with Zhao Qibing after taking House Zhao's pill, there wouldn't have been so much trouble. Both of them were Earth class. It was only a matter of seconds for them to leave. When the two were far away, Lin Yi said gratefully, "Thank you, young Master Tian, for upholding justice. I'll be going if there's nothing else." Tian Dai nodded, turned around, and flew away. She left quietly, not taking a single cloud with her, just like how he came quietly. "Boss, you're friends with young Master Tian?" Han Xiaopa asked, confused. "Nope, first time meeting him." Lin Yi shook his head. If they were friends, it was with Qikuan. Back at the Sky Elixir Inn, Silkworm transformation had gone to him. But the news of Zhao Qikuan's betrayal hadn't been made public yet, so Silkworm transformation should be closer to Zhao Qibing, not Lin Yi. Could it be that Silkworm transformation was really here to uphold justice? That's weird, he's obviously on our side, or else he wouldn't have given us the pill. Zhishan was quite puzzled by Silkworm transformation's actions. It's fine, we can't understand the thoughts of the masters of the ancient sections. Since everything's fine, that's for the best. Old Pai waved his hand and said to Chintian, "Push Mr. Lin back, it's windy outside." Chintian nodded and pushed Lin Yi back. After Tian Dai left, naturally, she went to report to Tian Chan Elder Hei Yi brought Qibing back to the Dark Palace, only to be met with the Grand Elder's rage. Of course, it wasn't directed at them, but at the Sky Elixir sect. "Silkworm transformation, you've gone too far. Isn't it because one or didn't marry your father? Do you really have to suppress us like this?" The Grand Elder blamed Wan for the Silkworm transformation's strange behavior today. She glanced at the silent Yi Wan and said, "Yi Wan, because of your mistake, our Dark Night Palace fell to the bottom of the class. Look at it. The heavenly Silkworm transformation actually helped that little bitch suppress us." Zhao Qibing, on the other hand, was shocked because he saw a mature version of Chu Mengyao here. Could the Grand Elder be referring to Mengyao as a little bitch? There must be a hidden story behind this. After discovering this secret, Qibing felt like he was on steroids, full of energy. This was a huge discovery. It seemed that the Grand Elder was very displeased with Lin Yi and Mengyao. If he became a disciple of Dark Night Palace in the future, as long as he got on the Grand Elder's good side, would he be able to plot against Lin Yi and Mengyao? At the thought, Qibing smiled coldly. Lin Yi, you didn't expect this, did you? I, Zhao Qibing, found an ally here. Next time, you'll be the one begging for mercy, not me." As for Yi Wan, Qibing guessed that she had a close relationship with Mengyao, but so what? Qibing understood that in the Dark Palace, the Grand Elder had the right to speak, and Yi Wan, the Palace Master, was just a puppet with no real power at all. "Grand Elder, I'll work hard and try to get the inheritance as soon as possible," Yi Wan said sadly. "It's good that you know how to work hard. At the Sky Class meeting, I don't want our Dark Night Palace to be removed because of you," the Grand Elder said. News of the Silkworm changing Lin Yi's strength quickly spread back to the hidden House Zhao. The old Zhao, who'd been overjoyed, felt as if he'd fallen into an ice house, losing all of his emotions. Hidden House Yu supporting Lin Yi was understandable, but Silkworm supporting Lin Yi? How was that possible? Didn't Lin Yi have a grudge with the Sky Elixir sect? Hidden House Yu, on the other hand, received the news immediately, but they were even more confused than Hidden House Zhao. Wasn't there poison given to them by Elder Kong Ming Ming of the Sky Elixir sect? Why was Silkworm Change standing up for Lin Yi now? Now, even the Qianshan sect and Jinzhong sect, who were looking for a chance to find Lin Yi, gave up. No matter how strong they didn't dare go against an ancient sect, especially one of the strongest ancient sects. Not long after Tian Dai returned to the Sky Elixir sect and reported to Tian Chan, Tian Chan was summoned by the Xianshan elder. Because Kong Ming Ming also received an inquiry from Hidden House Yu, this meant that the elder got the news. Tian Chan wasn't worried, she had already thought of a reason and went straight to the elder's room. But what made Tian Chan unhappy was that Kong Ming Ming was there too. Silkworm transformation greets Master Xianxin. Tian Chan greeted respectfully. Sit, Silkworm transformation. Xianxin elder nodded and gestured for Silkworm transformation to sit down. Silkworm transformation didn't decline and sat across from Xianxin elder. This was a treatment that even Kong Ming Ming didn't have. After all, Silkworm transformation was the young sect master of the Sky Elixir sect. Martial uncle, why are you looking for me? Although Silkworm transformation had a rough guess in his heart, he still pretended not to know. Silkworm transformation, I heard that you went to East Ocean City? Xianxin elder asked calmly, to help Lin Yi resolve the conflict with the Dark Knight Palace. Yes, Master Uncle, I just came back. Silkworm transformation nodded and answered readily. Don't you know that I have a conflict with Lin Yi? Why did you help him? Xianxin elder's tone was calm, but there was a hint of reproach in it. I know, but compared to Lin Yi, I dislike the Dark Knight Palace even more. Tian Chan answered, the Dark Knight Palace and the Sky Elixir sect have been enemies for many years. And this time, I'm not helping Lin. I'm doing this for the fairness of the Sky Elixir sect's trial. What do you mean? Xianxin elder was slightly stunned, but he was satisfied with Tian Chan's answer. The conflict between the Sky Elixir sect and the Dark Knight Palace was accumulated from the previous generation. Of course, it was also because of the two ruthless people who interfered and didn't let Yuan abort her child and follow the young sect master of the Sky Elixir sect as a concubine. Otherwise, the Dark Knight Palace and the Sky Elixir sect would be in-laws and wouldn't have such a huge conflict. Chapter 2954. This time, we planned the trial of the Heavenly Elixir sect, and many cultivators died. Although this is not a big suspicion, after a long time, there will still be people who will suspect it. Now that I am going out, I am making a gesture to show that the Heavenly Elixir sect is fair and just. Even if the trial is over, the rewards obtained in the trial will be protected by the Heavenly Elixir sect. In this way, there will be more participants in the next trial of the Heavenly Elixir sect. So that's how it is. You are thinking too much. Patriarch Xianxin nodded and said with relief, however, if the plan succeeds this time, there will be no need to refine elixirs in the trial anymore. So that's how it is. My disciple is meddlesome, Silkworm transformation said. It's not meddlesome. You are the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect. Of course, you have to prioritize the reputation and interests of the Heavenly Elixir sect. You did nothing wrong. Patriarch Xianxin waved his hand and said, forget about this matter. Avoid Lin Yi in the future. Don't help him. Yes, disciple understands. Tian Chan hurriedly replied with her head lowered. However, an almost undetectable determination flashed across her eyes. It disappeared in a flash. Okay, you go back first. Patriarch Xianxin waved his hand, indicating that Tian Chan could leave. After Tian Chan left, Patriarch Xianxin looked at Kong Ming Ming and said to him, this is a trivial matter. According to the report, Lin Yi's meridians and elixir field have been destroyed. Even if he has a 4th grade recover pill in his hands, it will be useless because he can't refine the pill at all. One more 3rd grade great cyclic pill is just one more joy. That's true. I was a little impatient. Kong Ming Ming quickly and carefully admitted his mistake. Silkworm transformation, although he is your senior, he is already the young master of the Heavenly Elixir sect. Try not to question what he does in the future. Patriarch Xianxin pondered for a moment and warned Kong Ming Ming. Master, isn't the Heavenly Elixir sect a subsidiary of our 5 Elements sect? Kong Ming Ming was slightly stunned. It is a subsidiary, but the Heavenly Elixir sect has been following the 5 Elements sect all these years and has reaped many benefits. Our 5 Elements sect is only hidden behind the scenes. The benefits on the surface have been taken by the Heavenly Elixir sect. The power of the Heavenly Elixir sect has expanded rapidly in the past 20 years. From what I can see, it is not inferior to the Day and Day sect. Patriarch Xianxin solemnly. See? Is there something you can't see? Kong Xiaoming was taken aback. Who doesn't have a trump card? 5-5 sect 5-5 sect? Sect, elixir sex 6 will be sex 5. However, Kong Xiaoming already understood what ancestor Xianxin meant. 5 elements sect seemed to be holding back as well. What he saw might not be 5 elements sect's full strength. Thinking of this, Kong Mingming could not help but be excited. Since the Heavenly Elixir sect is our subsidiary, won't we investigate if they are hiding something? If you want a sect to work for you with a peace of mind, you either have to be absolutely strong, or you have to let them have a trace of illusion and a trump card, making them think that we can't completely take them down. Patriarch Xianxin waved his hand and said, "You are still young, so you don't understand the mentality of these superiors." I see. Then why didn't our 5 elements sect go to the front? If we went to the front, wouldn't we be able to obtain more resources? Kong Mingming asked doubtfully. In fact, it seems that not going to the front was the right choice. If we went to the front, I reckon that little E and I would not be in the 5 elements sect anymore. Patriarch Xianxin said with some emotion. Master, what do you mean? What do you mean not in the 5 elements sect anymore? Kong Mingming did not understand what Patriarch Xianxin meant. This matter has to start from a past event more than 10 years ago. There were 2 heavenly path masters who came out of nowhere and ran amok in the entire ancient times. They took away all the masters with the strength of peak late stage of heaven stage. Those who resisted had only one way out, and that was death. It was said that those who followed could successfully advance to the heavenly path. Patriarch Xianxin thought of the past and felt a little scared. Fortunately, the 5 elements sect was led by boss Xianxin in the past. They were low-key, so the 2 masters did not discover the existence of the 5 elements sect. Otherwise, the 5 elements sect would not have been spared. Heavenly path masters? There are really heavenly path masters in this world. Kong Mingming realized today that he was a frog at the bottom of a well. Those 2 people are too overbearing, right? Those who resist will die? Isn't that unreasonable? In the world of cultivators, the weak are prey to the strong. How can there be any reason? You poisoned Linny, isn't that unreasonable? Patriarch Xianxin shook his head and said disapprovingly. That's true. Kong Mingming just remembered that wasn't the same for him. Moreover, these 2 heavenly path masters, who are known as the Vajra dual evils, are not unreasonable. In fact, in the world of cultivation, which master with the strength of peak late stage of heaven stage is not a little dirty, they have also killed people and snatched other people's treasures. If these are listed, it will also be a crime. Patriarch Xianxin said, if they casually take out one of them, you can't do anything. Then isn't it better to follow them? Isn't it possible to advance to the heavenly path? Kong Mingming was still a little puzzled. That's what you say, but who saw it? For thousands of years, the only way we cultivators know to advance to the heavenly path is to open the heavenly stage island and advance to the heavenly path there. It's not the so-called following others to advance to the heavenly path. Patriarch Xianxin said, moreover, from the looks of it, the cultivators who left with the 2 of them have completely disappeared. There's no news of them in the Jianghu anymore. So, I think there's an 80% chance that they won't return. What do those 2 heavenly path masters want to do? Kong Mingming asked curiously. I don't know about that. Heavenly path masters have strange thoughts. It's not something that we can infer. Without reaching that level, no one knows what people at that level are thinking and what they are looking for. Patriarch Xianxin shook his head and said, all right. Kong Mingming nodded and stopped asking. Instead, he asked, by the way, Master, are you still going to refine Lin Yi's extreme qi gathering pill? Chapter 2955. That makes sense. Master, you're the one who thinks far ahead. Kong Mingming flattered. In fact, he had thought of this a long time ago. It was just that he couldn't make a decision on this matter, so he asked the Xianxin ancestor. The Xianxin ancestor glanced at Kong Mingming. With his wisdom, how could he not see through Kong Mingming's hypocrisy? However, the Xianxin ancestor didn't say anything. He liked Kong Mingming's personality. He felt that this disciple of his would definitely surpass his other disciples in terms of evil and immoral. This was also the reason why the Xianqian ancestor often let Kong Ming Ming accompany him. It was a great thing in life to have a disciple who was equally immoral and immoral. What happened today, although it was scary but not dangerous, made Lin Yi break out in a cold sweat. If it wasn't for the timely appearance of silkworm transformation, Lin Yi would have to hand over the recover pill. However, even if Lin Yi handed over the pill, with Zhao Qibing's evil personality, he might not let Meng Yao and Yushu go. He would definitely do something to disgust Lin Yi. Although Zhao Qibing's third leg was broken, he wouldn't do anything dirty. Lin Yi believed that Yao Wang didn't have the ability to heal him so quickly, but the more it was like this, the more perverted Zhao Qibing's mentality would be. Today, with silkworm transformation, he dodged it. Lin Yi couldn't guarantee what would happen next time. This time, although Lin Yi didn't encounter any imminent danger, the worry in his heart was even stronger. Because he couldn't predict what would happen. If Kong Ming Ming got the news and brought people to cause trouble, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to defend against it. So, after dinner, Lin Yi looked at the people in front of him and made a difficult decision. I'm going to pack up and bring Shu and Yao Yao back to West Star Mountain Village. We'll hide for a period of time. After I leave, those enemies won't come after you guys. You guys can go home. Although Lin Yi's tone was very normal, anyone could see the helplessness and loneliness that flashed across Lin Yi's face. Lin Yi's words made everyone who had just finished eating fall into silence. The first time Lin Yi was injured and became a cripple, he had mentioned returning to the West Star Mountain Village. Although many of his subordinates weren't around at that time, he had heard the news from others after the incident. This time, Lin Yi had to go back again. Clearly, he had reached the end of his rope and was at his wit's end. This was not what everyone wanted to see. Boss, wherever you go, I'll follow. Although you don't need me to be your bodyguard, I can still help out. Wu Chuntian was the first to say that he wanted to follow Lin Yi back to West Star Mountain Village. I don't have much to do, so I'll just bring Jishan and Jihai to Mr. Lin's old home for a stroll. Just treat it as a vacation. Old Pai smiled and said casually. Old Pai, it seems like we have the same idea. We don't have much to do in House Han, so we'll just go for a vacation. Old Han Tianba also said, we won't be happy if you guys don't bring us along. We're all the boss's subordinates. Why can you guys go but we can't? Zhuang Miaoqiang immediately said. Hearing the words of his subordinates, Lin Yi was very touched, especially the two Zhuang brothers who followed him. Lin Yi felt that the people around him were very loyal. These people would be the backbone of Lin Yi's strength when he raised them to Sky Class and stepped into the ancient level. Of course I'll welcome you guys as guests. Lin Yi didn't say anything else and only nodded to them before turning to Meng Yao and Yushu. Yao Yao, what do you think? Shu and I will be fine, but I'll have to inform Dad first. Meng Yao was naturally very happy to follow Lin Yi back to his old home, but she acted very calm on the surface as if it was something normal. Yao Yao, it's just the two of us this time. You have to take this chance and fight for the top spot. Yushu raised her fist and encouraged. So, Meng Yao kicked Yushu under the table. What nonsense are you talking about? I'm not, I'm just telling the truth. Yushu pouted, feeling wronged. What do you mean only the two of you? Weren't you the ones who went with me last time? Lin Yi felt that his thoughts were a mess. Lin Yi vaguely remembered that the last time he went to West Star Village was with Meng Yao and Yushu, but it didn't seem like it. Meng Yao glared at Yushu, annoyed. She wasn't angry about the top spot, but the fact that it was just the two of them this time. This would definitely cause Lin Yi to misunderstand. So it really did happen, didn't it? Yushu realized that she'd let the cat out of the bag and laughed. It was the same last time, but Yao Yao didn't take the initiative last time. All right, Shu, let's not talk about this anymore. I'll call Dad now and tell him about this. Meng Yao went along with Yushu's words and changed the topic. With that, Meng Yao picked up her phone and dialed Pingzhan's number. Lin Yi was confused, but he didn't want to disturb Meng Yao while she was on the phone. Meng Yao briefly told Pingzhan about Lin Yi's injury, to which Pingzhan said that he'd rush over with Faubert immediately. Pingzhan was currently expanding in Donghai, but he was usually busy, so he could rush over in no time. As expected, not long after, Faubert drove Peng Zhan and Sun Luoyue to Lin Yi's villa. They were in the middle of a meeting when Meng Yao called, and Sun Luoyue had returned to normal. Naturally, she was helping Peng Zhan's new company in Donghai as an assistant, so she could accompany Faubert more often. How did this happen? Faubert was shocked when he saw Lin Yi's injury. He was one of the people who knew about Lin Yi's miraculous abilities. Wasn't Lin Yi able to heal himself? Why couldn't he do it this time? Lin Yi smiled bitterly as he told Li Fu and Peng Zhan about the trouble he'd run into. The miss hadn't been able to explain it clearly on the phone either, and she'd only given a vague summary of the situation. Chapter 2956. Li Fu, actually, Mr. Lin Yi's problem isn't incurable. Sun Luoyue listened to Lin Yi's current situation and thought for a moment before saying, the main problem now is that as long as Mr. Lin's meridians and dantian are healed, and he takes 2 qi-gathering pills, he can break through the barrier of the Earth class and ascend to the Sky class. That way, the effects of the poison will be neutralized. Luoyue, we know that, but the problem is, how do we heal his meridians and dantian? Lin Yi's dantian is broken, and he can't refine the pills. Faubert smiled bitterly. I'm not talking about the pills. Sun Luoyue shook her head. Did you forget about our Sun family's inner force? You mean you? Uncle Fu stared blankly for a moment before asking doubtfully, but right now, besides healing me, you can't heal anyone else, can you? It's not me. Sun Luoyue shook her head. You mean Genie? Faubert finally understood what Sun Luoyue was trying to say. He slapped his forehead and said, how could I forget about your family's exclusive inner force technique? If Genie helps, then Mr. Lin's problem can be easily solved. But to repair the dantian, you need to reach the 2nd level of the technique. The 1st level is not enough. Sun Luoyue shook her head and said, I'm only at the 1st level, I can't repair the dantian. Isn't the 2nd level able to heal 2 people? Why does it need the 2nd level to repair the dantian? Faubert asked doubtfully. The dantian's complexity is no less than a person's meridians. It's just that there aren't many cultivators with a broken dantian, so it's not a special case. Actually, the 2nd level means that it can heal 2 people, including the meridians, but not the dantian. Sun Luoyue said, this method can only work if Jin Yi works hard. Jin Yi's technique has actually reached the 2nd level. Lin Yi interrupted Faubert and Sun Luoyue's argument. What? You've reached the 2nd level? Faubert and Sun Luoyue were surprised. Really? How can her cultivation speed be so fast? It's true, but she relied on the energy stone that Faubert's sect brought back, said Lin. Faubert, I even asked you about it at that time. So it's that energy stone. Faubert was enlightened. That's great. Hurry up and contact Jingyi. Although I'm her father, we haven't acknowledged each other yet. It's not good to tell her about these things. On the other hand, although Lin Yi was sure that Sun Jingyi could repair his meridians and dantian, he was a little embarrassed. After all, this was equivalent to wasting 2 of Sun Jingyi's healing targets. From now on, Sun Jingyi couldn't do anything other than focus on healing him. Wasn't this the same as harming her? From now on, her future cultivation would be completely for him. This was really embarrassing for Lin Yi, so Lin Yi asked, can I only repair the dantian and not the meridians? Sun Luoyue was slightly stunned, but she still said, it's possible to repair the meridians and not the dantian, but it's not possible to repair the dantian without the meridians. If you want to repair the dantian, you must go through the meridians. If your meridians are fine, naturally you can repair the dantian alone, but now you can't. I see. Lin Yi felt helpless. He didn't know if he should call Sun Jingyi. Mr. Lin, you are our family's savior. Even Jingyi wouldn't be alive now if you didn't sacrifice yourself to save us in Woolen Hate Mountains. She will definitely agree. Faubert saw Lin Yi's hesitation and persuaded. Yeah, isn't Jingyi sis your half-lover? If something happens to your half-lover, she will definitely help. The miss was disappointed that she couldn't go back to West Star Village, but Lin Yi's recovery was what she wanted to see the most. As for Sun Jingyi's jealousy, she wasn't jealous anymore. After all, she was Faubert's daughter. No matter who she fought with, she wouldn't fight with Shu and Sun Jingyi because they were the most important people by her side. Just like Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao before, and now Ling Shan and Wang Xinyan. These people who sacrificed their lives to save her and Lin Yi, the miss had no reason to hate them. Okay. Lin Yi nodded and made up his mind. With Chen Tian's help, he called Sun Jingyi. Not long after the call connected, Sun Jingyi's lazy voice came from the other side. Lin Yi? You looking for me? Why are you sleeping at this time? Lin Yi froze when he heard Sun Jingyi's voice. Yeah, because I've been training lately, I've been jet lagging. You didn't come looking for me and left me alone in the hotel, and I'm starting to get confused. Sun Jingyi's voice sounded a little bitter. The test is over, and you didn't come looking for me. You didn't go back to house, Sun? Lin Yi was surprised. He didn't think that Sun Jingyi would still be in the hotel. No, you didn't ask me to go back, Sun Jingyi said. Then can you come to my villa now? I have something to discuss with you, Lin Yi said. To your villa? Meng Yao and Yushu aren't there? Sun Jingyi was confused. Yeah, you'll know when you come. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Meng Yao and Yushu didn't really like Sun Jingyi before, because Sun Jingyi seduced Lin Yi in front of them the first time they went to a bar. It made Sun Jingyi feel embarrassed, so she wouldn't appear in front of them if there wasn't anything special. Okay, I'll go now, Sun Jingyi said and hung up. Sun Jingyi's hotel was nearby, and after about 10 minutes, Sun Jingyi's car stopped in front of the villa. Why are there so many people? Sun Jingyi entered the villa and realized that it was like a big meeting. There were so many people in the living room, and when Sun Jingyi's eyes fell on Sun Luoyue, she was surprised for a moment, but when she saw Lin Yi in the wheelchair, she couldn't care less and asked nervously, Lin Yi, what's wrong? Let Chen Tian talk about this. Lin Yi had explained it many times already, so he let Chen Tian tell his problem to Sun Jingyi. Chapter 2957. But as she said that, Sun Jingyi's face reddened noticeably, something only she and Sun Luoyue understood. There's no rush, this is just the first step. Even if I fix my meridians and Dan Tian, I don't have a qi gathering pill on hand. Besides, one won't do, I'd have to take 2 in a row. Lin Yi said, of course, it'd be even better if we could find the antidote, we wouldn't need qi gathering pills anymore. You wouldn't even need to help me heal. There shouldn't be an antidote for this. Fu Bai shook his head and said, I've heard of this poison when I was at the same level, but I've never heard of it having an antidote. Generally, those who are poisoned by this poison will be crippled if they don't use a qi gathering pill to break through. But if they use a qi gathering pill to break through, they will also be crippled. They will be stuck at a certain level, unless the sect is very strong and has an endless supply of qi gathering pills. But I'm afraid that besides the Heavenly Elixir School, no other sect can refine so many qi gathering pills. There really isn't. Lin Yi sighed. It looks like we'll have to go back to West Star Village. We can't stay here until we find 2 qi gathering pills. The Sky Elixir sect might have solved the problem with the Dark Palace today, but there's no guarantee that they'll come back for revenge tomorrow. What? The people from the Dark Palace are here? Peng Zhan heard Lin Yi's words and looked at Lin Yi, agitated. Uncle Chu, you know about the Dark Palace? Lin Yi paused, not understanding. They're here for trouble today. Peng Zhan was shocked after hearing Lin Yi's words. They're here for trouble? For what? It's not for anything, they're just looking for trouble. With that, Lin Yi told Peng Zhan about the Dark Palace. They're here for the 3rd level pill? Peng Zhan let out a breath of relief. Nothing else. Is there anything else I should ask for? Lin Yi asked curiously. Nothing. Nothing. Peng Zhan shook his head absent-mindedly, as if remembering something. Uncle Chu, is there something wrong with this Dark Palace? Lin Yi felt that Peng Zhan was hiding something. No, it's fine. Peng Zhan waved his hand. Let's not talk about this. When are you guys planning to go back? Since it's been confirmed, it's naturally better to do it as soon as possible. A long night is fraught with problems, Lin Yi said. Alright, tomorrow it is. You guys pack up, Faubert and I will send you off. Peng Zhan nodded. There's no need to send us off, we'll leave on our own. It's better to keep a low profile. Lin Yi said. I said the sooner the better, but I'm not saying tomorrow. There are probably a lot of people watching here, and even if I leave, they'll be able to stop me on the way. I want to wait at least for now. The Dark Palace won't come looking for trouble, and the other forces will have to think about their own strength to avoid angering the Hidden House Yu and Sky Elixir. Chu Pingzhan nodded. All right, you decide for yourself then, Jingyi. It's a little sad right now, but I have something good to tell you. Lin Yi turned his head to Sun Jingyi. But what is it? Sun Jingyi was thinking about something embarrassing, her face red as she lowered her head. She couldn't help but be shocked when Lin Yi spoke to her. What do you want to say? Your parents aren't actually dead. Lin Yi didn't know what Sun Jingyi was thinking about, but he didn't think too much about it. What? My parents aren't dead? Sun Jingyi's eyes widened, and all her thoughts were thrown to the back of her head. Suddenly, she thought of something and looked at Sun Luoyue in shock. That's right, you might have guessed it already. Faubert and Grandma Sun are actually your birth parents. Lin Yi nodded. Sun Jingyi's eyes reddened, but she didn't doubt Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi must have done a lot of research to be able to tell her with such certainty, and Sun Luoyue's appearance proved it even more. However, Sun Jingyi never thought that Faubert and Grandma Sun were her parents. Jingyi is right. Luoyue and I are your parents. Faubert looked at Sun Jingyi nervously and expectantly, and said slowly, actually, when you guys came back from Wulong Haut mountain range, I knew about it when Lin Yi took out the energy stone. It's just that your mom and I have a strong enemy, and we were afraid that it would affect you, so we didn't acknowledge you. But I didn't expect that even if we didn't acknowledge each other, we still caused trouble a while ago, and almost harmed you and Lin Yi. Luckily, it's all over now. Is this true? I'm not dreaming, am I? Sun Jingyi felt that today's events were like a dream. Lin Yi was injured, and she found her birth parents. Jingyi sis, Faubert is really your father. Mengyao also knew about this from Lin Yi and Faubert. Sun Jingyi suddenly understood. No wonder Mengyao's attitude towards her changed so much. It was because she was Faubert's daughter. Sun Jingyi's guess was right. Mengyao really thought so. Faubert treated her like his own daughter, and he saved her many times. Now that Faubert found his daughter, although this daughter seemed to have some relationship issues with Lin Yi, Mengyao still accepted it gladly. Just because she was Faubert's daughter, she was no different from her own sister. Just like how Shu usually treated her, she never treated her as an outsider, and she wouldn't fight with her. These were the words that were buried deep in Sun Jingyi's heart for many years. She thought that it would be very heavy, but when she said it out loud, it was incomparably light. Jingyi. Sun Luoyue was the first to cry. Faubert, on the other hand, was much stronger. He kept smiling at Sun Jingyi. Mom. Sun Jingyi pursed her lips and took a step forward, jumping into Sun Luoyue's arms. Although everyone thought it was funny that Sun Jingyi would do something like this, they could understand how Sun Jingyi felt. Chapter 2958. Mengyao sighed softly at the thought. But where was her mother? Sun Jingyi had just acknowledged her parents, and Faubert and Grandma Sun dragged her into the house for a chat. Outside the house, Lin Yi and the others were discussing when to leave, but, just as they were discussing, there was a knock on the door. Qin Tian went to open the door, and it was Han Jingjing. Lin Yi bro, how are you? Han Jingjing rushed into the villa and saw Lin Yi in the wheelchair. Her face was filled with worry. Lin Yi looked at Han Jingjing's travel-worn appearance. Lin Yi didn't want to disturb Han Jingjing's practice, so he didn't tell Han Xiaoqiao to inform Han Jingjing, but the commotion outside the villa must have startled the bookworm, so he told her when Han Jingjing came out to eat. Because Lin Yi saw the corner of Han Jingjing's mouth, there were biscuit crumbs. She must have just eaten, but he didn't know why she looked like she just came back from a long journey. I'm just injured. Jingjing, you're out of practice? Lin Yi asked. But how many days have you not slept for? Why do you look so tired? 1 day and 1 night, it's nothing. Jingjing heard that Lin Yi bro was injured, so I rushed over. Han Jingjing said, is there anything Jingjing can help with? Not at the moment. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Originally, Lin Yi wanted to find a chance to test his alchemy skills after the test, but he was busy condensing the forging fire and neglected alchemy. He didn't expect that he would be crippled now, and he couldn't do alchemy anymore. Right? Jing Jing, I plan to go to Star West Village in a few days. Do you want to come? Back to the West Star Mountain Village? Han Jingjing was slightly taken aback. Lin Yi told Han Jingjing about his plan to return to the West Star Mountain Village to take refuge temporarily. However, after Han Jingjing heard it, her eyes flashed with an imperceptible envy and expectation, but she concealed it very well. She only said with regret, I can't leave during these few days of research. Otherwise, all my previous efforts will be wasted. Is that so? It doesn't matter. You shouldn't provoke any enemies by cultivating in seclusion here. Just be careful. Lin Yi nodded. If worst comes to worst, you can hide in Hidden House Han, Hidden House Pai, or Hidden House Shuang. There's no need for that. I'll just stay here and train in seclusion. Han Jingjing said, Big brother Lin Yi, if there's nothing else, I'll take my leave first, and go back and rest early. Don't think too much, this matter will be over soon. Lin Yi comforted her. Han Jingjing nodded her head and left without saying anything else. On the highway from Donghai to Yanjing, a car sped through the night, the everyday and everyday sect. Chunyang, how's Nai Peo? Pin Liang had no news of Nai Peo walking out of his heart's demon for a few days now, so he came to ask Chunyang Skymaster worriedly. His body had the mind of the Mad Dragon Master, but it also had Pin Liang's thoughts. Nai Peo was still his follower. Master, Zhang Nai Peo is still in solitary practicing and hasn't gotten rid of the demon in his heart. This time, Lin Yi dealt him too much of a blow. Pure Yang smiled bitterly. This is a tribulation that all practitioners of the chrysanthemum arts have to go through. When you're in high spirits, you'll receive a fatal blow and walk out of your heart's demon. You'll reach a higher level in your martial arts, but once you take it too hard, you'll be stuck in a dead end for the rest of your life. Then what's the solution? Pin Liang frowned. Walking out of the heart demon himself is the best way, but if that doesn't work, then we'll have to kill the person who made it happen, forcing him to walk out of it. But there's a downside to that as well. Killing Lin Yi would cause Nai Peo to lose the motivation to train, and that wouldn't be worth it. Chun Yang explained. I see. Pin Liang frowned. But if he can't walk out of his heart's demon forever, wouldn't that be even worse? How about this, we'll wait a bit. If Pao can't walk out of his own heart's demon, then we'll let Chun-Yin go and kill Lin Yi. Chun-Yin? Chunyang paused. Chun-Yin was his disciple, but he was a training maniac who didn't pay much attention to the sex affairs. Other than seclusion, he was always in seclusion. He was sky-class late phase peak now, and if he were to kill Lin Yi, then Lin Yi would die for sure. But Chunyang was a little worried. Master, our everyday sect is interfering with the common world's affairs. Won't that cause trouble? What kind of trouble? Just let him disguise himself and not let others find out. Pin Liang said casually, Don't you know what assassination is? Chunyang's mouth twitched. This was the first time he heard of an ancient sect sending someone to kill someone, and they had to disguise themselves. Even though the everyday sect was a demonic sect, they still had their own principles. They wouldn't play games of hiding their identities, because ancient sects had their own pride. However, Mad Dragon's master still had Pin Liang's soul and thoughts in his body. Hence, that crooked method naturally affected Pin Liang's thoughts, causing Pin Liang to come up with this idea that Chunyang didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Disguise. This isn't something that can be easily disguised. Techniques, strength, and figure, as long as someone is willing to investigate, they will be able to find out and implicate our everyday sect. Pure Yang Empyrean said with a bitter smile. Then he has no evidence. Besides, Lin Yi is dead. Who can avenge him? Among these ancient sects, apart from the Five Elements sect, who else dares to provoke us? Pin Liang curled his lips. Besides, we killed Lin Yi because of Zhang Nai Peo. Even if Five Elements sect finds out, we're still doing it for the plan. Someone as important as Zhang Nai Peo is in trouble, Five Elements sect won't just sit and watch. Makes sense. It was only then that Chun Yang remembered that Nai Peo was an important part of the plan as well. As long as the Five Elements sect stood on his side, there wouldn't be any problems. He nodded. All right, it's settled then. Let's have Chun-Yin go. Chapter 2959. So, either something big had happened, or it was a disciple who didn't know the rules. Master Mad Dragon Master, I have something to report. The one who spoke was the follower of Pure Yang Sky Master. Come in. Upon hearing his follower's voice, Heavenly Venerate Pure Yang knew that something big must have happened. Hence, he let him in and asked, what happened? According to the information, Master Mad Dragon told us to keep a close eye on Lin. He was poisoned, and his meridians and dantian were destroyed. He's a cripple now. The follower said. What's going on? Tell me in detail. Pinliang paused and asked. It's like this. The follower told Pinliang the news he got. It wasn't a secret that Lin Yi had a falling out with the hidden house Zhao, being poisoned, and having his meridians and dantian destroyed. The Dark Palace went to cause trouble for Lin Yi, but they were stopped by the young master of the Sky Elixir sect. However, Pinliang didn't mind Sky Silkworm Transformation's interference. These two were completely different people, so how could they be related? As far as he was concerned, Sky Silkworm Transformation was just to show that Sky Elixir sect was fair and just to attract more participants to the next Sky Elixir sect test. This is good news. Lin Yi has so many enemies. Even if we don't do anything, someone else will. Heavenly Venerate Pure Yang said, Master, if someone else were to take action, it would save us the trouble of hiding it. And then let's wait and see. If no one else does, then we'll kill Lin Yi. Pinliang nodded in agreement. Hidden House Zhao. These few days, Hidden House Zhao had been paying close attention to Lin Yi's movements, hoping that someone would kill Lin. So when the black-clothed elder appeared, they were very excited, but they didn't expect that Zhao Qibing would lose an arm and the black-clothed elder would leave quietly. Zhao Qikuan, does Lin Yi know the young master of the Sky Elixir sect, Sky Silkworm Transformation? Old Zhao felt that something was fishy. Why did the Sky Elixir sect have to do something like this? In the past, these ancient sects were all high and mighty existence. Old Zhao didn't even see them once in a few years. Why did they all appear all of a sudden? Nope, even if someone were to appear, it would be the vice leader of the Ice Palace, Feng Xiaoxiao, not Silkworm Shapeshifter. Qikuan, naturally, didn't mention that Shapeshifter had asked him about Lin Yi during the test. In fact, Qikuan didn't think much about it. He didn't want to cause trouble. As far as he was concerned, Silkworm Sky Silkworm went to ask about Lin Yi during sake. It wasn't strange. This was the Silkworm Lin. Sky C. T. Silkworm Chio. S. Qikuan Yi Sky. V. How's he doing now? I heard that he's already in Sky class? Old Zhao asked concernedly. He couldn't ignore this. Now that Qikuan was back, if he didn't take care of his relationship with Qijio, it would affect the unity of House Zhao. It would be fine if Qijio was just a normal Earth class, but if he was Sky class, what would happen if he got into a conflict with Qibing? He should be Sky class. Qikuan wasn't too sure himself. After all, everyone in House Zhao had seen Qijio's letter. What he knew, the others knew too. Here, if you're free these days, go to the Ice Palace. Tell him that I told you to come and see him. If he's missing anything, our Hidden House Zhao will take care of it for him. I'll write another letter myself later to encourage him. When he comes back, I'll let him join the Hidden House You, someone like you following Qibing around. Old Zhao said. Hearing Old Zhao's words, Qikuan didn't say anything on the surface, but he was smiling coldly in his heart. How could he not know what Old Zhao was thinking? Promised Qijio great benefits and let him join Qibing's side. As far as Old Zhao was concerned, Qijio used to follow Qikuan, but he was still a part of House Zhao. His loyalty to House Zhao should be higher than Qikuan's. As long as he served House Zhao, as long as he didn't betray House Zhao, he could totally join Old Zhao's side. What Old Zhao was doing was actually a ploy as well. Qijio, as a disciple of the Hidden House Zhao, had to send a letter back, and it was impossible for Qikuan to hide Old Zhao's letter and not send it out. He just expressed his goodwill to House Zhao, and now he was betraying House Zhao again. Of course, Old Zhao underestimated Qijio's loyalty. Qijio was the same as Qikuan. During the Ice Palace test, he was indebted to Lin Yi's help. He was just like Qikuan, grateful to Lin Yi. As long as Chikuin didn't betray Lin, Chijio wouldn't betray Chikuin. What hidden house Zhao? In Chijio's eyes, it was nothing. If he stayed in the ice palace like this, he'd be able to get the position of an outer elder. There were no men in the inner sect, but the manager of the inn, Li, was living a good life, wasn't he? Yes, Grandpa. Chikuin pretended to hesitate before nodding. His expression, however, was a little unnatural. Of course, it was all an act. Old Zhao saw this and was very pleased with Chikuin's performance. If Chikuin had agreed right away, he wouldn't have believed it at all. The more hesitant he was, the more it represented the struggle in his heart. The final decision was the most effective one. And I'll write the letter now. There was a reason why old Zhao sent Chikuin away. Qibing was studying in the Dark Palace and wasn't at home. If Chikuin were to stay here, he might use his connections to form an alliance with the other members of House Zhao. Old Zhao was the head of the house, but he knew that this was a problem. The only solution was to make sure that Chikuin wasn't at House Zhao. Even if he didn't have the excuse of visiting Chijio, he would still find a reason to make him leave. Chapter 2960. At home, old Zhao praised Chijio profusely, hoping that he would return and contribute to House Zhao. Elder Bai had passed away, and Elder Mian had taken over his position. But Elder Mian was old, after all, and the younger generation needed to find another disciple to take over his position. Old Zhao hinted that it would be Chijio. Chikuin looked at old Zhao's letter, smiling coldly inside. Old Zhao had said that Elder Mian's position was his, and now it was Chijio's? But Chikuin didn't care about Elder Mian's position at all, so he pretended that he didn't peek and looked around. This letter, just give it to Chijio. Old Zhao didn't even show it to Chikuin after writing it, sealing it up and putting the seal of House Zhao on it before giving it to him. Okay, Grandpa. Chikuin was much more obedient after the mental struggle. He took the letter respectfully. When do I leave? You should pack up and set off today. Old Zhao wanted to send Chikuin away as soon as possible, so he decided Chikuin's fate with a wave of his hand. Chikuin didn't say anything, just nodded and went back to his room to pack up. But what made him feel regretful was that he couldn't get the recipe for the poison. The food was gone when he and Qibing sent Linny away, and there was nothing left. He could only wait for the recipe, but no one brought it up after that, not even Chikuin himself. After packing up, Chikuin drove towards the ice palace. He had wanted to go take a look at Lin Yi, but he didn't want to cause trouble. After all, who knew if old Zhao trusted him or not? Would he be watching him in secret? In fact, old Zhao really did ask Elder Mian to follow Chikuin for a while, and when he saw that Chikuin was really heading towards the ice palace, he returned to the hidden house. Although Faubert and Sun Luoyue were overjoyed at the reunion with Sun Jingyi, they still had their own things to do. Peng Zhan's company was in a period of growth, especially after giving Lin Yi such a large sum of money to support Fatty Lai's company. Peng Zhan and Faubert had no choice but to work even harder. In order to save on expenses, they had to do many things themselves. And so, the next morning, Peng Zhan left Lin Yi's villa with Faubert and Sun Luoyue, while Sun Jingyi stayed behind to treat Lin Yi's wounds. Jingyi, should we start healing now? Meng Yao and Yu Shu went to school to deal with their exams. Lin Yi had special privileges, but they didn't. They had to apply for leave. Now, Sun Jingyi, on the other hand, wasn't as generous as before. She was a little shy after hearing Lin Yi's words. Jingyi, if you think it's too hard, then forget it. I'll think of something else. Even if my meridians and dantian recover, there's no medicine for me to take, Lin Yi said quickly, thinking that Sun Jingyi was regretting her decision. No. Sun Jingyi shook her head. I'm already very happy to be able to help you. You've always been helping me, saving me, but I'm afraid that Yao Yao won't be happy. Her? How could she not be happy? She'd be happy to see you heal me, wouldn't she? Lin Yi found it strange. When healing, I need to take off my clothes. Sun Jingyi had shed her strong woman facade, and was no different from a normal girl. She was only 1 or 2 years older than Lin Yi, so it was reasonable for her to be shy. Take off my clothes? Lin Yi blinked, but then smiled. Why would Yao Yao be unhappy if I take off my clothes? It's not like she's the one taking off her clothes. Besides, A doctor has the heart of a parent. At that time, Yao Yao was still naked and I cured her. Lin Yi, it's not you taking off your clothes, it's the two of us taking off our clothes together. Sun Jingyi blushed as she explained, but she was a little surprised. The miss was such a conservative person, yet she'd take off her clothes in front of Lin Yi? Although Sun Jingyi could see that the miss liked Lin Yi, it didn't mean that she would take off her clothes. After all, the two of them hadn't reached this kind of relationship yet. It seemed that the miss's guard against Lin Yi was much lower than she thought. You also want to take off your clothes? Lin Yi was a little surprised to hear Sun Jingyi's words. Why do you want to take off your clothes? Ordinary healing, naturally not necessary, but to repair the meridians and dantian, I need to use a medium to transfer the qi in my body to all the acupuncture points in your body, so you must take off your clothes. Otherwise, as long as there is a barrier, it will be ineffective. Sun Jingyi explained. What is the medium? Lin Yi suddenly realized. He was using his art of dragon mastery to estimate Sun Jingyi's situation, but although the art of dragon mastery was similar to the Sun family's heart technique, it was different after all. The medium is water. We must be in the same closed pool, so that the treatment can be completed. Sun Jingyi said. Two people take off their clothes and be in the same closed pool? Isn't that a couple's bath? Lin Yi thought about it and felt a little flirtatious. If Lin Yi didn't have any thoughts about Sun Jingyi, it would be fine. However, Lin Yi also had a good impression of Sun Jingyi. After all, he wasn't half a lover for nothing. The two had experienced so many things together, and they already had feelings for each other. You don't have to worry about Yao Yao and the other's feelings. This is mainly your own feelings. Lin Yi smiled bitterly after listening and said, You have made such a big sacrifice, why do you still ask others? I myself am willing. Sun Jingyi said softly. Looking at Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi sighed slightly in his heart. It seemed that he owed another debt of love. Now he had Xiao Xiao and Xinyan. Although Miss and Shu didn't fully express their feelings, Lin Yi also felt that these things must be returned in the end. However, now Lin Yi had thought it through. He didn't have as many concerns as before. These girls could follow him and help him without hesitation when he was injured and in trouble. Lin Yi wasn't an iron heart, how could he not see it? Chapter 2961. This was a promise that Lin Yi made from the bottom of his heart. Sun Jingyi nodded shyly and happily. She could understand what Lin Yi meant and was very happy. Now, you know why my mom married my dad, right? But don't feel wronged. I have Xiao Xiao, Xinyan, the miss, and Shu by my side. Don't be sad, Lin Yi said. Xiao Xiao and I are so close, she even helped me to mess with Wu Chintian. She won't have anything to say about it, and with Xinyan's personality, she won't fight for anything. As for the miss, don't forget about my father. Sun Jingyi was at ease and didn't feel any danger. You thought it through. You didn't plan this beforehand, did you? Lin Yi smiled and joked. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Actually, we don't have to use water as a medium, I said water on purpose. Sun Jingyi smiled. I just wanted to upgrade our relationship from half lovers to full lovers. Really? Lin Yi paused and asked. Really? Sun Jingyi nodded solemnly. Not only do we not have to use water as a medium, we can do it without a medium. Without a medium? Lin Yi was even more surprised. He felt that Sun Jingyi didn't sound like she was joking. Could it be true? You can push me down too, Sun Jingyi said and looked at Lin Yi's stunned face and giggled. Alright, we might as well use water as a medium. Although I think it's a good idea, our development isn't that fast yet? Linus. I think so too. Sun Jingyi nodded. It's a bit too fast to do it so quickly. Lin Yi nodded. Although he was slightly disappointed, he still respected Sun Jingyi's choice. Then when do we start healing? Sun Jingyi said, but to be honest, you really don't need water as a medium. Other things can also be used as a medium. What else is there? Lin Yi didn't think that there was another way. For example, we can take off our clothes and bury us in the ground, or jump into a bonfire, or jump into molten iron, or freeze us in ice. Anyway, among the 5 elements of metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, Other than wood, we can do it. Sun Jingyi explained. Forget it, let's go with water. Lin Yi shook his head after hearing this. Although it was a little dirty to be buried in the ground, at least it was reliable. Jumping into a fire, molten iron, or freezing into ice. Weren't these all suicidal actions? Before he could heal himself, he had already died. Hee. Sun Jingyi also laughed. So I didn't lie to you. What I said was the simplest and most feasible method. Let's go, we'll take a bath together. Lin Yi was in a wheelchair, so it wasn't convenient for him to move. He could only let Sun Jingyi push him into the bathroom. Chen Tian and Pai Zhishan, on the other hand, were a little surprised. Why was Jingyi pushing Lin Yi to the bathroom? After all, the two had been talking in Lin Yi's room, and now they were going to the bathroom? It was indeed surprising. Boss, what are you going to do? Chen Tian couldn't help but ask. It wasn't that he had feelings for Sun Jingyi, he was just worried about Lin. Taking a bath together. Lin Yi joked. Don't disturb us. Oh. Chen Tian was full of questions, but it wasn't his place to ask. He could only watch as Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi walked into the bathroom. Since it was decided, Sun Jingyi didn't hold back anymore. After all, this wasn't the time to be reserved. She couldn't just wait for Lin Yi to help her take off her clothes, could she? Lin Yi was injured, and he couldn't take off his clothes. Only Sun Jingyi could do it for him. After filling the bathtub with water, Sun Jingyi slowly took off her clothes. Although her back was facing Lin Yi, Sun Jingyi could still feel her face burning. She didn't think that her first time being honest with Lin Yi would be under such circumstances. But this was good. Sun Jingyi gritted her teeth and took off the rest of her underwear before coming back to her senses. Lin Yi's breathing was a little rushed. Sun Jingyi's body was undoubtedly perfect. On her smooth skin, there was a healthy glow, long legs, a perfect body. Especially when Lin Yi's eyes moved to Sun Jingyi's upper body, he couldn't help but swallow his saliva. Although Lin Yi had seen Yao Yao and Shu when they weren't wearing clothes, that was only when he was treating them. This time, he was going to be in the same room with Sun Jingyi for a long time. The water in the bathtub was steaming, and it quickly filled the entire bathroom. This kind of hazy feeling made Lin Yi feel like he was in a fairyland, peeping at a fairy taking a bath. Especially when Sun Jingyi's delicate cheeks had a touch of blush and shallow dimples, it made the current Sun Jingyi had an indescribable temptation. Jingyi, don't tempt me, oh. Lin Yi had a physiological reaction, and he couldn't help but say with a bitter face. You're thinking too much, okay? I just want to treat your injuries. Sun Jingyi said seriously. Okay, then my clothes. Lin Yi could only lower his head and try not to look at Sun Jingyi. However, some things couldn't be easily forgotten after seeing it. Even if he didn't look at it, it would make his imagination run wild. I'll help you take it off. Sun Jingyi walked over, bent down, and started to help Lin Yi unbutton his shirt. However, this posture made Sun Jingyi's majestic chest jump into Lin Yi's eyes. Even if Lin Yi lowered his head, he could still feel the shining white in front of his eyes. Especially the delicate fragrance on Sun Jingyi's body, it made it even more difficult for Lin Yi to refuse. His self-control, compared to when he first returned to Songshan, was indeed a lot worse. Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. Lin Yi didn't have much clothing on him, only a shirt and a pair of shorts, so Sun Jingyi quickly helped Lin Yi take off his shirt, but the shorts were a bit difficult to take off. Lin Yi sat in a wheelchair, and both his arms and legs were broken. He couldn't use any strength at all, so Sun Jingyi could only use her strength to forcibly tear off Lin Yi's shorts. Chapter 2962. Although it was strenuous for Sun Jingyi to pull, Lin Yi was relieved. Finally, there was no white in front of him. If he knew this, Lin Yi would rather not take advantage of this and let Sun Jingyi take off his clothes first. Jingyi, you can do it. Sun Jingyi gritted her teeth and encouraged herself. Then, she pulled Lin Yi's shorts hard with both her legs and hands. She pulled it down. Pudong! There was a loud noise accompanied by Sun Jingyi's "oh" scream. Sun Jingyi fell down heavily, but Lin Yi's shorts were successfully pulled down. Because Sun Jingyi used too much force, and the ground under her feet was a bit slippery because of the fog. Sun Jingyi's body was leaning before, so she slipped and fell on the ground. But coincidentally, Sun Jingyi's head was actually lying in the middle of Lin Yi's legs. Sun Jingyi felt that her face seemed to be stuck on top of an iron bar. Her face hurt, but she couldn't react to what it was for a while. She climbed up from the ground shakily and looked at what her face was stuck to. But with this look, Sun Jingyi was so shy that her face turned red. She didn't dare to look at Lin. Sun Jingyi thought that Lin Yi would think that she was a pervert and that it was intentional. But I really didn't do it on purpose. Ugh, if your angle was slightly crooked, maybe I would be disabled. Lin Yi saw that Sun Jingyi was embarrassed, and he couldn't help but make a joke. However, after being shocked by Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi couldn't care less about the ambiguity. Disabled, I will help you heal. Sun Jingyi also chuckled, and the awkward atmosphere between them instantly disappeared. I'll help you into the bathtub. As Sun Jingyi spoke, she helped Lin Yi into the bathtub. Then she jumped in and sat opposite Lin. The two of them sat facing each other, which made Lin Yi's heart, which had calmed down a little, jump up again. Then what? Lin Yi tried his best not to think about those messy things. He constantly reminded himself that the most important thing was to heal his injuries. Other things could wait. Put your hand on me and don't do anything. Just wait for me to heal you. Sun Jingyi said. Okay. Lin Yi nodded and put his hand on Sun Jingyi's shoulder. How can there be acupuncture points on my shoulder? Can't you go somewhere else? Sun Jingyi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Go somewhere else? Lin Yi was stunned. With his posture and angle, in addition to putting his hand on Sun Jingyi's shoulder, the rest was touching her chest. But how could this work? Hurry up. Sun Jingyi didn't think so much. She was thinking about running the Sun family's mantra to heal Lin Yi, so she ignored this point. Okay. Lin Yi clenched his teeth. Since you're already so bold, I'm not going to be a pushover. After that, Lin Yi's hands pressed on Sun Jingyi's chest. Yeah. Sun Jingyi was shocked when her chest was attacked. Although the target of the attack was Lin Yi, Sun Jingyi still shrank her body subconsciously. What are you doing? Aren't you healing? Is your hand healed? It's not healed. My arm is injured. I can only barely stretch it out. You don't let me touch your shoulder, so I can only move down. It can only be here. Lin Yi saw that Sun Jingyi really didn't seem to have any special meaning before. He misunderstood, so he apologized. Sun Jingyi was reminded by Lin Yi that Lin Yi's arm was injured. At this angle, if he didn't put it on his shoulder, he could only touch his chest. But, you touch me and I can't calm down to circulate the mantra. Sun Jingyi felt that since she had decided to follow Lin Yi, then it was nothing to be touched by Lin Yi. However, her heart was beating fast. How could she calm down to circulate the mantra? Then, you turn around. I will put my hand on your back. Lin Yi also felt that the current action made him a little uneasy, so he said. Sun Jingyi nodded and turned around. Lin Yi put his hand on Sun Jingyi's smooth back, but even so, Lin Yi's heart still beat faster. After all, this couple bath itself was very ambiguous, and the others stimulated Lin Yi's senses. After taking a few deep breaths, Sun Jingyi calmed down and began to circulate the mantra of the Sun family. After all, it was the first time that Sun Jingyi used the mantra to save someone. Before this, Sun Jingyi had never treated anyone, so she could only fumble forward. Fortunately, the Sun family's mantra was very mature. After circulating, Sun Jingyi didn't feel anything, but Lin Yi was surprised to find that there was an endless amount of qi in the water flowing into his meridians along the acupuncture points of his body. It began to quickly nourish and repair his injuries and meridians. This feeling was the same as when Lin Yi used the art of dragon mastery to heal himself, but the only difference was that Lin Yi didn't need to do anything. He only needed to enjoy it unilaterally. It's effective. It feels exactly the same as when I heal myself. Lin Yi said affirmatively to Sun Jingyi. Sun Jingyi heard Lin Yi's words and let out a breath of relief. She continued to circulate the mantra, helping Lin Yi heal himself. Meng Yao and Yushu returned home from school, but they didn't see Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. Instead, they saw Chen Tian and the others sitting in the living room, as if waiting for something. Wu Chen Tian, where's Lin? Meng Yao looked at Lin Yi's room curiously. Lin Yi's door was open, but Lin Yi wasn't inside. Bussy. Chen Tian hesitated, not sure if he should say it, but he didn't want to lie to Meng Yao. There was no way he could lie about this. He remembered that Lin Yi didn't tell him to keep it a secret when he went into the shower. Boss and Sun Jingyi, they're in the shower. Meng Yao paused and looked at the bathroom in disbelief. She felt an uncomfortable sourness in her heart, but remembering that Sun Jingyi was Faobert's daughter, and that she and Lin used to be half lovers or something, she didn't want to care too much about it. She nodded as if nothing was wrong. Why are they taking a shower? Lin Yi's injuries healed? I don't know. Chen Tian shook his head. Chapter 2963. Meng Yao frowned and glared at Yushu. She didn't think that Sun Jingyi was that kind of person. Besides, even if she did push him down, wouldn't she do it in Lin Yi's room? Why did she have to go to the bathroom? Besides, even if Lin Yi was injured, he wouldn't let Sun Jingyi push him down just like that. It didn't make sense at all. Shoo, don't talk nonsense. They must be doing something important, Meng Yao said. Don't cause trouble. Oh. Yushu was just saying it casually. She didn't really dare to barge into the bathroom. I just thought that since Jingyi sis pushed Shield Bro down, we can go in and play 4P together. If you want to play, then play by yourself. I'll open the door for you? Meng Yao was a little annoyed by Yushu's words. Naturally, she wasn't in a good mood. I'm the small wife, of course, I'll let the big wife do it. Yushu stuck her tongue out. She really didn't dare. After all, House Yuzhu was very strict with her. Although Yushu really liked Lin Yi, she didn't dare cross the line and put her parents in danger. Meng Yao curled her lips. Naturally, she didn't believe Yushu's words. She felt that Yushu was only good at talking. She had always been like this. I'm watching TV. With that, Meng Yao picked up the remote control and switched to a channel with Pleasant Goat. In fact, Meng Yao was a little annoyed herself. Her eyes were on the TV, but her mind was in the bathroom. Although she believed in Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi, she couldn't guess what they were doing in the bathroom. Yushu, on the other hand, was enjoying the show. It pissed Meng Yao off. She was the one who wanted to go to the bathroom, and now she was the one who didn't have a care in the world. Chen Tian and the others saw that the two mistresses didn't look too happy, so they sat on the side and waited for Lin Yi to come out. Happy Goat was done, and Meng Yao switched to another sitcom. She wasn't the slightest bit interested in the male and female protagonists' lovey-dovey relationship. Yushu, on the other hand, was commenting from time to time. Yao Yao, look, this girl's breasts aren't even as big as mine, and she's called a pop goddess? Yao Yao, look at that girl. She's so ugly, she's not even half as pretty as you are, and she's still a otaku goddess? That's enough. If you think you have big breasts, then go act on TV. Meng Yao was getting annoyed by Yushu and was just about to throw a glare at her when she heard something from the bathroom door. Meng Yao turned around subconsciously and was surprised to see Lin Yi walking out of the bathroom. Behind him was Sun Jingyi, who looked tired and a little shy. Lin Yi, are you all right? Meng Yao was surprised and overjoyed. So Sun Jingyi went to treat Lin Yi. It seemed like she had misunderstood her before. No matter what she did with Lin Yi in the bathroom, it was all for Lin Yi's sake. Meng Yao was relieved at that moment. Jingyi sis, you're the one who treated Lin Yi, right? Thank you. Yao Yao, treating Lin Yi is what I should do. We're good friends, you don't have to thank me. Sun Jingyi shook her head. She didn't think it was wrong to do something like that for Lin Yi. Yao Yao, Jingyi? We're family now, you and Shu, don't make things difficult for her. Lin Yi felt the need to hint. Lin Yi didn't think that Meng Yao and Yushu would do something stupid like that now, but they did reject Xiao Xiao before. Why would I? Meng Yao understood Lin Yi's hint right away. She looked at Sun Jingyi thoughtfully, envious of her for some reason. But on the surface, she said naturally, Jingyi sis is Faobert's daughter, so she's like my real sister. Yeah, Yao Yao sis's sister is Shu's sister, Yushu said straightforwardly. She never objected to what Meng Yao accepted. But why did you guys go to the bathroom? Wu Chentian said you guys went to bathe together? Meng Yao had accepted Sun Jingyi's existence, but she was still curious. She pretended to be nonchalant and asked casually. It's like this. Jingyi needs a medium to heal. Lin Yi didn't hide anything, and explained why he and Jingyi went to the bathroom to bathe together to Mengyao, Yushu, and Chintian. Although Lin Yi said it lightly, Mengyao could still imagine the scene of a man and a woman alone in the bathroom. She was only envious, not jealous. She only nodded. I see. Thank you, Jingyi sis. The next step is to look for the chi-gathering pill, right? Yes, I'll call Kong Ming from the Sky Elixir sect later and ask him when he can make the pill. But don't spread the news that I'm healed. After all, I'm only healed, but my strength hasn't recovered yet. I'm afraid that House Zhao or the other houses will send people to cause trouble for me, Lin Yi said. Okay boss, we'll keep this a secret. Chen Tian nodded immediately. Lin Yi went back to his room to call Kong Ming, while Mengyao pulled Sun Jingyi away to whisper to her, trying to find out what they did in the bathroom. Sun Jingyi was Falbert's daughter, but she didn't take advantage of her seniority. She knew very well how important Mengyao was to Lin Yi, so naturally, she would try her best to maintain a good relationship with Mengyao. When Mengyao asked about what happened in the bathroom, Sun Jingyi didn't hide anything. She even told them about how she helped Lin Yi take off his pants and threw it on the floor, and her face was on Lin Yi's spot. Shu and Yao Yao laughed when they heard that. Mengyao let down her guard after seeing Sun Jingyi's honesty. Lin Yi called Kong Ming directly. Kong Ming was confused about Lin Yi's call. Hello, Lin Yi? Kong Ming was surprised that Lin Yi was still in the mood to call him even though he was crippled. How optimistic was he? Kong Ming, are you done with my chi-gathering pill? Lin Yi didn't waste time with him and asked directly. Chi-gathering pill? Kong Ming paused. Lin Yi's dantian was crippled. Why would he need the pill? Lin Yi, as far as I know, you're already crippled. Why do you still care about pills? Oh, so you know I'm crippled. Did you poison me? Lin Yi said casually.